or in nervousness glanced over in informing you about the location and the mission last time. So this is a Class L planet on the on the upper limit of Class L, almost Class M. It's more Vulcan than Earth, certainly. There are approximately 21 mining camps that are mining topaline. The primary one, the headquarters, is where the outbreak is happening, in Mining Camp 1.
Is it topamine, topaline?
Let me write it down here.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's real close.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lean. Okay.
Yeah. Topaline, what have you. Potato. And this is Spica 9, the 9th planet in the Spica system. Most of the other 8 are small, barren, quite honestly, more dwarf planet than true planets. And there is usually quite a bit of traffic to and from the system, but news of this quarantine has scared some folks away. And so, meanwhile, on the surface, this is a very abstract representation of the surface. But you have your medical tent cities to the south, as well as the mine entrance to the south. The sort of Quonset hut settlement of the Mirak. Your landing bay. This structure at the very top left is the top of a large sort of luxury skyscraper that has been set up for the Zach Dorn administration, and also houses the corporate headquarters, or I don't know if you want to say corporate, but the administrative headquarters for the mining concern. You have your reactor over here, your massive satellite that is a subspace antenna and subspace broadcast. That is the worst picture of a satellite, but here we are. As well as refineries and smelters, which represents these 2 buildings here. And when last we left, both Lieutenant Commander Lakir and Dr. Kitten were facing infections. One, infections of the Mirak workforce, and the other, infections of the computer systems governing this communication satellite. Who would like to go first in facing down this infection?
Quick question. How far away am I from the medical tents?
I want to say maybe kind of 20 kilometers. This kind of spread out sort of area.
All right.
So this is sort of the far end away from the medical tents. Medical tents were intentionally put at the outer edge of this settlement.
Right. So I actually want to get in touch with Specialist Castillo and the captain, because I found out that the computer system is being infected by cold air, something.
Collier was the technician who seems that was the person who uploaded the virus, or possibly their identity was used.
Right, which as of this time, that's the only lead I have, so I want to question him. And in order to get him, he was inside the mine, so we need to send a team down there to get him.
And I'll be typing in names because I know it's very difficult to tell, especially with sci-fi. some of these names. So you're communicating this to the doctor and the captain?
Right.
Okay. And Specialist Castillo?
Correct.
So, as the captain, I do have a few questions, since I think
Mhm.
this is the first time the away team has checked back in. Um, so, kind of as an open channel between, the away team, I just say, so if I understand the situation correctly, we're dealing with infection on two fronts, and we know possibly the cause of one. Like here, would you like me to send down a security team as well?
I feel that it may be necessary. Let's say, on the chance that this Colnair is not the culprits, there's a possibility that there is another Zakdorn that could possibly be infecting this system. The only cure, quote unquote, that I have for my infection is a complete reset and memory wipe of their systems, and then re-upload data from our computers. However, I don't know everything that these computers of theirs are running, and so I don't want to shut everything off and it turned out that it was running something for the mines, and now there's people trapped down there.
It's a reasonable precaution. I will say that if it starts to look like you have an opportunity to do the wipe and re-upload, make sure that you isolate whatever bit of the Galatea's computer that you use to reinforce and reintegrate the computer system down there. Dr. Kitten, how is the medical side of things faring?
Going through their research right now, Captain. The th- the plague seem they can't seem to find a cause for the plague or how it's transmitted, which is kind of
Hmm.
odd. We don't know if this is an airborne, environmental. We don't know if this is passed by touch. We have we do not know what is causing to get the Merak here sick.
Hmm.
I'm currently going over their notes right now.
Well, admittedly, medical is not my expertise or one of my areas of focus, so I will defer to your judgment in this matter. If
Um,
you require, oh, go ahead.
I do have a question, Lieutenant Commander Lakir. Um, you said that there's something wrong with the computer systems.
Correct.
Could
There's
this
a
be
go ahead.
could this be affecting the food replicators?
I have full reason to believe that it is. This virus, from what I've seen of it so far, the moment that the moment that I fix one thing, or that I think I have the virus isolated, it seems that there's a backup for it ready to hit another system. So it's within full reason that yes, the replicators and any system on this planet is at risk of being infected by this virus.
All right. Can you? I I'm not a technician, so I'm asking you this. Is there a way of seeing if the virus is affecting the food replicators and having it only affecting the Merak? Like maybe it's giving them spoils, bad food, something?
I mean, there's a possibility, but So are you saying that the Mirac virus is being caused by, or there's a chance that it's being caused by this virus in the computer system?
Their CMO says that they have isolated the Mirac and only been giving them food of late from the replicators that they have at this location. They're getting all their food and all their water from these replicators. The replicators here are infected by a computer virus that could be the cause, could be a possible cause to the why the Merak are being sick. It could be that this virus is targeting the Merak specifically within its programming, is not affecting physiology of the Zakdorn. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a running theory. It might be good to see if I can feed the populace here food from our ship to see if this will help them recover food and water, and we just isolate it from there.
Well, I don't think it'll be a problem to do that much. I'll see about getting at least down to you with some food and some isolated systems, so we don't have the chance of bringing the disease back to the Galatea. Is there anything else anyone else requires? Do you need me to send down any specific personnel? Do you need me to send anything besides the food and water? What do you need as the away team?
In the mines, there's currently a Zakdorn called Kalnar. I don't. Anyways, um, as of this moment, he's my best lead on finding out who put in this virus. According to the computer system, he's the one that put it in. Um, in all honesty, I don't know if he's working alone or not, if he is the culprit, or if anyone here is working alone or not. I would feel more comfortable if it were some of our people who went in, found him, and brought him out for questioning.
All right. I'll be sending
I
down.
concur.
You concur. All right. I will be sending down Lieutenant Junior Grade Kazula then, along with a small security contingent. And you should have both them and the supplies you want, Doctor, within the hour.
Thank you, Captain.
Excellent. Well, if there's nothing else, Captain out.
All right, it doesn't take long. It's no
Well,
problem to go
there's
ahead and
some.
load up the transporters with Lieutenant Kazula and uh, Neria, the other member of the primary security team. And huge token. And they will arrive with Starfleet rations, which, while not exactly delicious, are certainly been sealed and guaranteed free of any allergen.
Question. Did you copy the tokens over? Because I have permission to move Kazula around.
Yeah, I've just got to set that up real quick. For some reason, it didn't want to represent the character, so it didn't want to give you.
Did you drag it down off of the sheet, or did you just pop it down and try to link it over?
No, I dragged it down from the sheet.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it now. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's something my character wants to. Since my character has, yeah, there's something that Doctor wants to do here.
Okay.
While I'm waiting, I'm going to. My curiosity is get better, which of course is which is one of my values, curiosity and occasion. And my character's thinking that since this might be might be poisoning, my character is going to actually risk it and ask Nurse Grawl to get her out of out of the EVA suit. She's going to risk to see if she gets it through airborne or contact. Although she's pretty sure at this point not what is causing it.
Hmm.
And if not, well, then she's being reckless. That's her, and that's her value coming into effect.
Hmm. I want to say that we want something, akin to a. Just to reference, D&D is the universal baseline, something akin to a Constitution roll, which I suppose would be fitness and medicine.
Fitness and medicine, fitness and con. I think fitness and con is what the devs say you're supposed to use, but hey, you're the GM.
Con?
Yeah, as far as I remember, con and command are very close together. But if you're doing like heavy lifting or you're dealing with the environment and interacting with it, it's usually supposed to be con.
Sorry, I just have this image in my head of basically you're flying the player or the character.
I mean, it's not a bad analogy.
Yeah. All right, give me a fitness con. It says difficulty 0 task.
Yeah, it says fitness to resisting effects of extreme acceleration or unpredictable motion. That doesn't make sense. This fitness. It says under medicine, fitness to resist effects of poisons and diseases by knowing how to respond to exposure, or to move or restrain a patient without exacerbating their injury. So it actually would
exacerbated.
Yeah, so it looks like it's actually medicine according to the book.
The problem is you're not exactly trying to avoid it. You're intentionally exposing yourself. So I'm kind of wanting to see what your actual physical response to this would be. We can go with fitness medicine for now, but that's definitely something I need to look up later.
Yeah, there's a lot of D&D things that you got to figure out how to transfer over. But...
yeah, but that's something they don't have in the book. And I know that's annoying. So let's go. So that's my... No, then I don't have anything. Would my survival work?
I'll give it to you. Yeah. I imagine that working in a couple of different ways. One which I don't necessarily want to say without spoiling something. So yeah, that'll definitely work.
Sorry, I'm having little problems with the sheet.
Oh?
Yeah.
Is it not want to work for you? Ooh. I'm sorry, who was that?
I think that was him. His headset probably... It sounded like his headset got knocked off.
I see.
It's basically... Yeah, I just refreshed the page, see if that'll fix it. So... Hold on. Here. It was like everything was grayed out on my sheet. It was weird.
Yeah, I had an issue with Roll20 earlier. I don't know if they're having a problem tonight or it's just...
Yeah, it's doing that to me again. It's like my fitness and my medicine both are grayed out. Did you click on my character sheet?
I'm gonna have it open right now. They're lighter
you have
color.
My character sheet open. Can you close it?
Sure.
Can you close it here? Let's see if that's what it is. Something. You don't have a macro going on, do you?
No.
Yeah, I can't. I'm gonna have to do this old-fashioned way.
According to this, they're already selected. Just what I was looking at before.
Didn't touch. I didn't. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Never mind. I forgot what character sheet we were using.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot we're using the official one. My fault. Okay, and that's what is my complication range or
Complication range is standard, so it should just be 1. Yeah,
all
because it's
right.
baseline. And you got
And
your
then my
focus.
task is 2. Does my survival focus?
Yes.
All right.
And I see you have that selected, so just hit task roll, and that should do it.
Yeah.
For the
Sorry,
the delta. There we go. All right, so that's, like I said, difficulty 0, so you actually gain 3 momentum from that.
I think I'll track momentum this game.
Okay.
aye, Captain.
Alrighty, so I would say some time passes, half an hour or so of just breathing the same air and just walking around, and so far you feel fine. Scans indicate no signs of infection, no signs of internal trauma. So far, so good.
Well, Crawl, it looks like I'm fine. The education was affected, but I'm not. So either we're more resistant or it might be environmental. Something they're eating. May I check the results, see if any signs of poisoning at all, like deterioration, foreign substances, toxins, that sort of thing? He was looking for I remember that the person who I was talking to was, according to my notes, was looking for a virus or something like that. I'm going to look for actually a chemical or something along the lines of signs there might be poisoning.
Okay, go ahead and give me a reason medicine roll.
Can Grawl assist me?
Yes, you can.
And and what's difficulty?
Difficulty for this, I'm going to say is 2.
All right. Do you mind if I spend a momentum?
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right.
I'll
gonna spend
roll
it.
for Grawl.
All right. Thank you. So difficulty is 2. All right. And I will say, let's see, my
You have 1 from
would
Grawl.
would my xenobiology help out with this
Um,
for a focus?
So that reminds me of something I came across in another show. Whether or not xenobiology applies to species known in the Federation or species unknown. Although I'd say because they're not Federation citizens, that would count as like alien biology as opposed to just biology or just medicine.
It's kind of like the Trill. Like we don't know how the whole symbiote process really works because the Trill don't share that information. So
Yeah. So, are we in agreement that it's for outside common knowledge? Because if so, I believe it would apply here because the Mirak are not members of the Federation, so they're not as well documented.
That's why I kind of grabbed at the cheat. I mean, how my background is.
Okay.
I'm a doctor who specializes in new species and so forth, or rare species, which is probably why I'm the CMO here because I have an Ossican corn.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, yeah, I think it would apply here.
and
Yeah.
it's a difficulty. You said 2 or is it 3?
It's just 2.
No, 2. Okay, got it. Just make sure I'm reading the sheet right. And
Ooh, complication.
ooh. Let's see here. I
And
do
if
have
I'm
a merit here. One moment, my talent. Let me check my talent.
And just to clarify, with complications, I can bank that threat. Can I not?
Yes.
Yeah.
you can either do a complication or you can take, I believe it's 2 threat.
2 threat. Okay.
All right, and I have a when attempt. Let's see. Okay, I have oh, I should mention this. I had a quick study. When attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar medical procedure or what is to treat an unfamiliar species, ignore any difficulty increase stemming from your unfamiliarity.
Hmm. Yeah, no, it didn't increase because of that.
Uh,
Like the difficulty is not directly because of that, because you have xenobiology, and so you actually are benefiting from not knowing their biology because of your, extensive study.
mhm.
Question, if I can
Mhm.
get real quick. Was the complication range only a 1 still?
I put
I
down
believe
two.
so. I didn't have any threat to spend to increase it.
Okay, well then that's a 19. That's not a 20. So
Oh, did it get? Oh, I see. It got
Oh,
reset.
so they got reset. Must have been when I was
Mm-hmm.
having difficulties.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Good to know.
Thanks for catching it, Mike.
yep, that's what I do.
So I check it, and
You can find no signs of bacteria or allergens or foreign bodies. There's no sign of. It's acting almost like poisoning, but it's not from any sort of external source that has come into the body.
hmm. So it wasn't something that they consumed.
It doesn't appear to be.
Interesting. But there is something in their bodies?
It's behaving as if it was poisoning, as if it was heavy metal poisoning. The way that it is sort of causing this general tissue damage, like that could be heavy metal poisoning, could be radiation poisoning, but you don't see any signs of either of those.
Wait a minute.
Very similar sort
What?
of effects.
The metal is these are all the workers, right?
That's right.
Are there any children?
No, they're all adults.
They're all adults, there's no children, so there are no families.
There are families on base, but like the other family members have not been affected.
So it's only the workers.
That seems to be yes.
Grawl, we need to check those mines. Lieutenant Commander Lakir,
Look here.
um, I'm going to need some of your engineering expertise. We need to examine the mine. There might be some sort of poisoning happening within the mine. All the
Okay.
workers are the only ones who are sick. Their families are not. And it seems to be that there is something that is infecting them that is on the outside. If it's not the food replicators, it might be within the mine itself.
I
So
mean,
my
isn't
best.
isn't it common for miners to have some sort of, as they used to call it on Earth, coal lung of some sort?
Oh, this is. Oh, back during barbaric days when the medicine and protective gear weren't doing what they're supposed to. Nowadays, even on an outpost such as this, should have modern facilities protect their workers, so such things like that would never happen. I mean, to do so would be a violation of their contract with the Federation and Starfleet. So I'm going to go check it. I would love to have your engineering expertise. Make sure that we're not going to place dangerous.
All right.
Before that occurs, we'll switch over and say that during the time that Dr. Kitten was running these tests and receiving some fresh food and testing out whether it was airborne, you were working on the computer system.
Right.
So back up north, you found that there is a virus that looks like it has been found by standard antivirus software and deleted, only to appear later, and it seems to be programmed to cause havoc, specifically targeting key systems and usually a different error every time one is fixed.
And as far as I could tell, if I do a complete system wipe, it'll the virus will not show up anymore.
Definitely. If you did a complete system wipe, it would just wipe out all files and revert the isolinear chips back to a blank formatted state. And then you could
All right.
re-upload LCARs and do whatever needs to be done.
All right. Before I completely, how long has the virus been in the system?
It looks about 2 weeks.
How long has this plague been going on?
6 days now.
There's a possibility they may be connected. Is there a way that before I do a complete wipe of the system, I could reset the system back 2 weeks to before the virus was introduced? Just to see if, instead of having to completely wipe the entire system, they only lose like 2 weeks worth of stuff?
It would be a bit more difficult, because you've got to make sure that it doesn't hide itself in some protected directory when you do that, but it could be done. Because wiping it clean is the nuclear option. You'll guarantee to get rid of it. But if you try to roll back, it could hide in one of the protected core files that isn't rolled back. You could still try and root it out as best you can.
I want to try to run it back 2 weeks before I just reset the system.
All right. So that is going to be a reason engineering roll with, let's say, difficulty 3. And make sure your threat range is set back to 1 so that we don't have any mistakes there. I think it automatically goes to 2 on this sheet for some reason.
Yeah.
If you're having problems using the sheet, let me know. Because
well, no, I was just trying to figure out. There isn't any way that I could have, like, one of the Zagdorn help me, or I could tie in the ship's computer to help me run back to 2 weeks or something.
Possibly. I would say you could definitely have the ship's computer help you, like, be running the scans for the virus and making sure that it is not included in the rollback, things like that. Just there is the chance that if this goes bad, you could infect the computer on the ship.
Right.
But that's something you would just know from your skill in engineering and in software. It's just there is that chance that the more computers you bring in to help you, there is that chance, there is the possibility of infecting.
All right. The closest Zagdorn to me, I'm gonna tell him that I'm gonna need his help checking everything, and so I guess he'll assist me, even though they don't have a sheet.
That was Jazon.
Yeah. So
which whenever I look at that written out, it's just Jason, but but he's from space, therefore it's Jazon. And he's the one who met you at the landing pad and escorted you here.
Right. Okay, I guess I'll spend a momentum, and then someone can roll for Jazon if he's able to assist her.
Yeah, I'll roll for that. I have a little macro put together here.
All right. Everyone's cool with me taking a momentum?
Okay,
I
go
am.
for it.
I think it's go for it, man.
All right, so he gives you 1 success.
And then I have 2 successes. All right.
All right, so no momentum gained, but you were able to roll back for 2 weeks. Dazan kind of looks over the files and says, I hope that worked. I mean, I didn't see anything wrong, but we'll have to adjust some things, of course, but looks like we're getting subspace signals again.
All right. Using the console, I want to send a message to the ship, just saying test, just testing system, seeing if it's receiving
Mhm.
subspace communications, and to have someone in engineering tie in the ship's computer to their system and upgrade the I guess antivirus would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, you get a standard ping back, and you're able to reach the ship now. Um, it looks like whatever was causing the problems, again, the virus was attacking different things at a time, but its goal was to keep the antenna offline. But now the subspace antenna is working, and you are able to ping the ship. And yeah, you can tie in the ship and help it with an upgrade. If you want to give me a reason engineering roll, difficulty 0. This is just to kind of hook up and download Starfleet grade antivirus. McAfee 2370. All right, that's 2 momentum. There you go. It's already updated. So it looks like everything is back up and running. There's just a question of who put this virus on the computer.
Yeah. So, like, here's gonna get a ride back to the medical tent where he will link up with Lieutenant Consula, and Specialist Nira, and then the doctors, and then we'll traverse into the mines after that.
All right. So before that happens, meanwhile, back at the ship,
Yeah.
you're monitoring the tests. The away team is reporting in. Everything seems fine until your long-range sensors pick up ships dropping out of warp on the edge of the system.
Ships of a known configuration or not?
2 of them look like the sort of generic ships that are produced that are often bought by the Maquis. Now, of course, these are bought by numerous other people, of course. And 1 old freighter. And I mean an old, busted-up freighter. This thing's got to be at least 30, 40 years old. And they are hailing you.
Oh, good. They're hailing us. That saves me time. On screen, please.
You see this image of a... try not to use the word voluptuous here, but a full-figured Mirak woman with highly decorated braided hair, just beads and jewelry, and you even think you see a bit of a Bajoran earring hanging out. It's just all manner of things. And she says, "You are the Starfleet who has come to our planet?"
I am Captain Salash. That is correct. We are currently investigating and attempting to aid with a breakout. If you don't mind me asking, what is your purpose here in system?
Because we represent the Mirak League. We are here in the interests of our people.
I sort of raise an eyebrow and motion for her to continue.
Give me a... Let's say presence command.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
This is going to be difficulty 1.
Well, it only rolled 1 dice. Let me roll the other
Sure,
one.
go ahead. Yeah, you got to make sure that the 2 die are
Yeah, the
highlighted.
2 selected. Yeah. Hey, I got the success I needed, though.
Sure. She kind of looks at the screen for a moment, like staring directly at you, squints her eyes a bit, and says, "You're a hard one to read, Mr. Captain. You must understand that my people have long been abused. We are wanderers. We have no home here. So when I hear there is an outbreak of a strange disease, where my people are working as laborers under the Zac Dawn, my first thought is we are being poisoned. Are you investigating this possibility, Mr. Starfleet?"
I am indeed. However, perhaps it would be in our best interests if either I came over to your ship or you came over to mine, and I can show you the data that we've collected thus far. That way you can see that we are hopefully operating with good intentions towards your people.
She says, "Yes, please come to our ship. Maybe if you learn something of my people, you will understand why we are so concerned."
So in D&D terms, I want to insight her.
I would say it's Insight Command, or... You think that's about right?
Yeah, it's usually either Insight Command or Insight Con, so I'll take the command.
Yeah, Con's an odd one for me. But yeah.
It's one of those odd stats, but you get used to it. What's the difficulty?
I'm going to say difficulty 2.
All right. Anyone mind if I take momentum just to be extra safe?
Go
Not at
ahead.
all.
Ah, well, good thing I did.
She's being very guarded. Like, her body posture and the way she's addressing you all seem to be this sort of walled off, I don't want to give too much away, but she is expressing genuine concern over what's going on the planet.
Okay. And you can, of course, tell me I need to spend more get an answer to this question. But it's not like, say, she's like there's not like an anticipation of like a trap kind of a thing. Like, she's not, the moment I beam aboard, she's not gonna like throw me in the brig or hold me hostage.
I'm going to say from what you can tell, probably don't need to spend a momentum for this one. She's genuinely concerned, and she genuinely thinks it'd be a good idea for you to come over. Like, she was very intrigued when you said you could beam over there. Like, her eyes lit up, and you could see that she was like, yes, that will help. That will help the situation.
Okay. Well, I will nod in agreement. It's very well. If you do not mind me bringing along a security personnel so that my first officer does not freak out, I would be happy to beam over. Just send us the coordinates.
And kind of with that, she huffs and says, "If you must." And then
I
she
just
turns
sort of
and,
give her a nice Gorn smile.
She turns and says something incoherent to someone else at the command. You can't tell any sort of rank or any sort of uniform amongst them, and the coordinates are sent over.
Excellent. Well, I'll be seeing you shortly. Salach out. And I will grab, literally a red shirt. I don't think I need anyone named per se. And if possible, I think this is an opportunity cost. I'm going to double check. But while I'm looking
Which
up,
kind of
basically, I want to bring along a not a phaser, but something like a basic knife or a dagger.
I believe that's
This
opportunity
is something
one.
I've kind of workshopped as a character that, in lieu of, say, the standard Type 2 phaser, in a diplomatic situation, I would rather have, say, the dagger.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's opportunity one.
Okay. I mean, I know since it costs momentum, and I've already spent one, but would anyone mind if I did that?
No, I'd
No.
rather have the captain armed.
Yeah. It's pretty
Alright,
important.
well, I will
Or then we
spend
have
that
to rescue
momentum.
him.
Or mutiny.
All right.
Cool.
So yeah, I go to my quarters on the way to the transporter room to meet up with the red shirt, and I take out from my personal belongings what I would describe as a more ornamental-looking Gorn kind of curved dagger, but it's definitely functional. And I would sort of slip it away in a sheath that I would then hide on my person, and I'll leave it up to you whether or not it actually gains the hidden quality or not.
Actually, knives and daggers have hidden quality by default,
Oh, well, there you go.
according to this anyway. Uh,
Yeah, I don't have that chart memorized. It's one of the few that I rely on the GM screen for.
yeah, I happened to pull it up while we were talking. It's the good thing about having two monitors. So of course you head down to the transporter pad. I'm gonna say give me a. I'm sorry, no, that's they would roll. Yes, they would roll to see the weapon. But you head down to the transporter pad and obviously dissolve into the blue matter stream, and when you appear on the other side, you're in a dark, dingy little alcove where the woman you spoke to waits with two guards. Each have holstered some sort of kind of old, junky phaser pistol.
It's still a phaser pistol.
Oh, yeah.
Let me just double check.
And they need to make a roll to notice that dagger. Wait, it's two dice. Ooh.
Yeah, I think they notice it.
The female mirror comes up to you and says, I am Jorana.
Jorana?
I'll write
Okay.
it down.
Yeah, I was to say, that one I'm definitely gonna... Okay, Jorana.
Jorana. I see you came armed. You are not a fool like most Starfleet.
I extend a hand in a very human fashion, kind of for a shake, and I say, I think you'll find that I'm not like most Starfleet to begin with.
Says, oh, I noticed. And shakes your hand. We do not see many of your kind this far toward the center of the galaxy.
Oh. As promised, here is the data I said I would share, and I probably should have mentioned it before we beamed over, but I would have taken along a pad that has, I would say, about 99% of what the away team has discovered so far.
Ah,
But I think I would leave out the, what is his name, Kalner? I would leave Kalner out of it because we don't know if he is a person of interest. Like, obviously he's a person of interest, but I don't want to implicate him just
Yeah.
yet until obviously we've talked with him.
Okay. Okay. She kind of looks it over as you kind of walk and talk, and she leads you um, through the central corridor that runs the length of the freighter. And you can see that several of the chambers, the cargo bays, have been converted into tent cities. To the point where you can see some actually have fires and oil drums, warming themselves and or cooking, and it's this freighter is definitely more of a almost like an apartment complex more than it is a ship.
I would actually like to ask Jorana about that. So, kind of mid conversation, I ask, if you don't mind me asking, is there a particular reason you have not settled down on a planet?
Because most of the people here see us as warriors like our Zinti cousins. And she spits on the floor as she says Zinti. It goes, or they view us as thieves who come in the night and are away come morning. We work where we can, but we can rely only on ourselves.
Sort of rub my chin in thought and say, well, this might be a little presumptuous of me, but. And of course, I will have to go through the standard Starfleet rigmarole. But seeing your people in conditions like this, it speaks to me. I would be happy to, on your behalf, send a recommendation or request to Starfleet for a planet, kind of out of the way, not really relying on anyone else, that you would be able to colonize if you were so interested. And I just kind of motion at one of the tent cities and I say, surely it would be better than, well, this.
Says these are the survivors of our last attempt to settle down and colonize. Every time that we have tried. This accent is going way off the rails. Every time that we have tried, we've come up against neighbors who did not like us being there. We work where we can, but very few worlds are left open to colonize that have not been claimed by you or the Lyrans.
Like I said, I'm going to have to do some research on my end, but I'm going to do you a solid, and I'm going to do my best to see what we can turn up. But perhaps we should focus on the matter at hand to begin with. As you can see, and then, I point out basically all of Kitten's notes so far and what we've found about the data.
And kind of as she gets to the point about there being only workers infected and not family members, she says, "Do you see here? The Zakdo are not poisoning us. It's just as I said."
Well, as I said, I am not precluding it as a possibility, but there's protocol here that has to be followed. And trust me, as much as I would love to jump to a conclusion, we need to have better facts on the table before we can start. I believe the human expression is flinging mud.
Because the leader of the local Mirak League is a man named Rika. He is a hot-blooded one, but he can be reasonable.
You're definitely gonna have to spell that one.
Mm-hmm. Rika.
Oh, so it's Rika. It doesn't have. Okay, very straightforward. All right, got it.
Yeah, most of the time it's just my weird enunciation.
No, it's okay. I come up with so many bad names that look good on paper, and then I say them. I'm like, why did I do this to myself? So I guess to clarify, is he like the head of all Mirak on the planet, or is he just like the head of Work Camp 1?
You're not quite sure. She keeps mentioning this Mirag League, but you had no information about that going in.
All right, well, I'll ask her about it. I'm not really familiar with this league. Can you share some insight on that?
We are a mutual aid society. We help our fellow Mirak get work, help them unionize, represent them should crimes be levied against them, and on those occasions where we have been forced off of worlds, we provide temporary housing. There are many such freighters in a sort of not quite armada, but convoy of sorts, protected, as you see by these ships that flank us now.
Oh, we can retcon this if you want, but would I have been able to get basically someone on the bridge to do a security scan of the guarding ships before I went over?
Yeah, I mean, like a basic tactical analysis, yeah, that's not too out of the question. They are equivalent to, like a little stronger than a Paragon-class fighter. Like, they are sort of these generic ones sold outside the Federation that are often, like I said, bought by the Maquis and used as Maquis raiders.
Okay.
And they're usually like 1 to 3 man craft.
So, to put it in a very Gorn way, they really are no match for the Akira class should things go south.
Not really. They could do some damage before they go, but they definitely couldn't take you out. They couldn't hope to.
Okay. Well, of course, this sates the back of my mind Gorn superiority complex, but I, of course, am not going to display any sign of this. So I sort of nod and I say, so if I understand you correctly, Jorana, this Rika is on the planet, yes?
Says, yes, he's at Work Camp 1, the headquarters.
I turn to Redshirt and I say, Ensign, if you could step away for a moment and relay that the away team should try and get in contact with this Rika fellow.
And he gives a curt yes, sir, and then walks off to a private corner. Lakir, you have heard this name before, sort of as this comes over the comms. You've heard that this name from Jazan, the one who helped you with the computers, was saying that he thinks this is all the sabotage was done by Rika. And he blamed Rika sort of offhand, even before you started working on it. That was his first thought.
Okay. Looking at authorizations and privileges for the computers, who would seem more realistically, who would seem more able to put in such a virus? This Rika or the other guy whose name that it was actually entered under?
Looking at personnel files, Keller is a low-level technician. It's like he could certainly have access to upload files, usually reports. They're a little sloppy with their security, so he may have been able to upload to places that he really shouldn't have been. But he is not noted for programming expertise.
I want to look in his file and see if there's a mention of him possibly being in debt, or if there's anything that stands out that it's okay, he probably got told do this and this will happen. Or like if there's blackmail or something.
Okay, give me I want to say insight engineering, just to search records.
All right.
You have to excuse me if some of these combinations seem strange. I'm still getting used to all that.
Ooh,
And that
That's
is
it.
an actual 20.
Luckily, it was a difficulty 0, so you
I'll
at least
take
got a
it.
momentum. I'm going to bank that threat.
Okay.
So I'll give myself... Oh, my threat tokens here. Give myself 2 threat. I have physical little things I have on my desk.
Oh yeah, I use poker chips. They're great.
You can find that he has had an increase in his spending these last 2 weeks. That he's bought some more things from like the company store and like bought more holodeck time or holosuite time. Been using the like public replicators, you know, not the food replicators, but the bigger size replicators. Been like spending his company store credit on that quite a lot lately.
Okay. Do I find any connections with him and Rika?
Not that you see. You don't see any like direct mentions or any sort of disciplinary write-ups or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be any connections between them or any direct connections between them.
Okay. Am I back with Doctor yet, or am I still at the satellite?
I would say after all this that you guys have met up at the mine. That you all have met up at the mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to switch over real quick.
I'm assuming there are EV suits around here.
Yes, the tent sort of medical tent city has a surplus of EV suits.
All right.
So you can grab one from them.
Dr. Kitten. You're muted in Discord, by the way. If you're talking.
Yes?
The person of interest I'm looking for, they are currently in the mines. I'm going to take a couple of the security officers with me, and I'm going to go question him. Have you come across anything that suggests what may be causing this?
Well, I have a theory, but I need to check the mine. You were talking about the computer virus. If the computer virus affected the safety protocols in the mine, it could have affected the workers.
It's a likely cause. I don't know if the two are directly I don't know if the two are directly connected, so it could just be happenstance that it affected the workers in the mine. However,
Well,
I do plan on giving all these EV suits a quick checkup before we go in.
I think you should. Mine is from our ship, the Galatea. So I don't think mine would have been infected by the virus.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to give a quick reason engineering, just to look over and make sure that the EV suits are working properly. Okay, and that was actually a difficulty 0, so you get a momentum there. Because as you can tell, that their networks are fine. It looks like they haven't, opened up to any sort of file access to the local network. It's all still going to the ship. So everything's good to go on the EV suits.
I didn't know if there was wear and tear on them or anything, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes, in addition to that, they are in good working order.
All right. So, going into the mine will be myself, Doctor, you said you want to go into the mine, or do you just want me to take readings while you stay up with your patients up here?
I am going to go into the mine. I want to be able to use my medical tricordering kit to see if I can correlate with the samples that I've already have had from the Merrick to see if I can find some similarities.
And are you
You're
wearing
going
your
in.
EV suit?
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
Nurse Grawl, I want you to stay behind. Help take care of the secure until I get back.
Castillo, you'll stay behind. Lieutenant and Specialist Nira, you'll both be coming with us. Or just the Lieutenant. This is where Mike comes in and says, "Oh, I'll play the Lieutenant or the
Oh, yeah, I'm
Specialist."
definitely playing Kazula. She
Okay.
is my away team's supporting character.
Lieutenant, you think we should take Specialist Nero with us, or should we leave them both up here?
I look to Nira. Nira is basically another security officer, right?
Yeah, she's a very low level, like security grunt.
I'd say, in my professional security opinion, sir, that Nira would be better suited to remain up here.
All right, Nira, get up with Castillo and Nurse Grawl. Figure out where to set up. Doctor, if you'll come with me and the Lieutenant, we'll get down this mine and figure out what's going on. Do I have a location of where
Yes, they
Counter
were
was?
last signed in on level 2, shaft 7. Or so they last reported on.
All right.
And before you actually get to the mine, you're getting close to this sort of fenced off area in which the heavy equipment is normally moved and things like that. And there is a crowd of Mirak standing around a figure that is up on a containment box or some sort of container. And he is shouting to the crowd. And as you get closer, you can hear him saying, "This is all because we wanted better conditions. We wanted better conditions, and now look at what they've done. I'm sure the moment we concede our demands, they'll come out with a mysterious cure brought to them by Starfleet."
Mysterious. It's science.
Are we walking or are we in one of their little golf cart things?
I'd say at this point you're walking. You're within walking distance of the mine now. Like you took a cart over there, and yeah. So you're on foot, and this crowd is blocking the gateway to get into the mine site.
Like here's just gonna shove through the crowd. He's just gonna shove through it. He's gonna hope that the Doctor and Lieutenant stay near him, but he wants to talk to this Keldorn, and he doesn't really care what this dude up on the platform has to say.
I'm following. I'm definitely following.
Give me a Would that be daring security? I want to say to kind of force your way through the crowd.
That or maybe daring plus con because it is navigational related.
Sure.
Or like, well, it's like I'm kind of like shoving through, like get out of the way. We're trying to help you get out of the way. So I guess command security or con, whichever y'all feel.
Presence plus command would be good if you were doing it that way.
Yeah, are you like using your strength to move people aside, or are you kind of using your imposing presence to be like Princess Under the Giant and Princess Bride? Everybody move!
Isig.
Probably a good mixture of both, but whichever one's getting the people out of the way quicker is the one that I'll adapt to easier.
Okay, go ahead and give me a presence command to.
Presence command.
Can I assist as I'm following him? And helping?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I have doctor's orders. Which
Would my racial talent, natural bully, play in?
Yes, definitely. I think that would
Okay.
definitely apply.
Whenever I attempt a test to intimidate or frighten a creature considered weaker than me by one or more T20s by adding a threat, ignore any complications. So yeah, I'll buy 1 dice from threat,
Okay.
so that
And
gives you 1 threat, and then what is the
as
difficulty?
as I was asking,
Go ahead.
I had doctor's orders, which was attempt a task to coordinate others or to coerce someone into making or refraining from a specific course of action. You may use your medicine discipline instead of command. Does that come into play here?
I think so. I think by holding up this like medical tricorder, medical kit, and saying we need to get through. This is medical research, that sort of thing. I think you would definitely move some people out of the way like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, not to role play for you. I'm just trying to think in my head how that would work, or think out loud how that would work.
Yeah, sorry, I was asking a question earlier. Sorry. Um, so he's got his imposing, and then would my persuasion work with this as well? Is my foci?
Persuasion, yes.
Would my focus interspecies diplomacy account? I am being diplomatic, just in a very bad way.
Call that cowboy diplomacy.
Yeah. Oh, sure, why not?
Or pulling a Kirk?
I mean, it's literally one of my focuses, so...
Oh my god.
Hey, at least you didn't complicate things.
What's the what's the complication?
Complication range should be 1.
What was the difficulty?
The difficulty for this is 2.
Okay.
Because they're packed in, they're very unhappy. Whoo!
That's funny.
That's a natural 2. Oh wait, I rolled the wrong stuff. I rolled the wrong stuff.
Oh
Anyway,
yes,
oh,
you
well, it
rolled
doesn't matter.
fitness medicine instead of. I'd say go ahead and
Yeah.
roll again, because that was
Sorry.
in error.
There's an error.
I'll put
Not
this
used to
thread
sheets
away
either.
here. I'm a very forgiving GM.
Okay, so there's our 2.
All right. So you're able to, using this, your size and using this, the fact that you're in EV suits and you're from Starfleet and investigating the plague, like people are moving. This figure up on this container is kind of pointing out to you in the crowd and yelling, "And who is it that comes running when there's a problem with the mine? Starfleet, very own watchdog of the Federation."
Oh, shut up, you insolent cow.
That's not very diplomatic, Lieutenant.
He says, "Oh, we better behave, or next thing you know, they'll have security teams down here with phaser rifles to stun us all."
Hey, I'm right here right now.
Kazula kind of steps in between the two
Well-
before this escalates.
Hold it. He's validly right to be angry. I understand that. He's concerned about his people. Starfleet is here to help. If we find that there is a problem here, we're here to help. Everything. If we have to stay here to help out with this labor dispute, we will help as well. We are here as a neutral party. We're just here to help. That is what Starfleet is about. I'm sorry that you feel that we're not like this, but our actions here are to do just that. As of right now, our ship has brought down additional food and replicators to help out with those that are ill. We are currently going to be, we're currently going to the mine to check it ourselves. We are making our own independent inquiry so that we can help. Because what is happening with these sick people is wrong. I'm a doctor. I do not like what I see, and I am here to help. I'd be here to help even if I wasn't in Starfleet. That is just who I am. So, please, trust us, as we are related as cousins, Acacian and my car. I promise you, I am here to help.
You can see several faces in the crowd are kind of nodding in agreement. There are a few Mirak women there, and they kind of look you over, and you've heard about their telepathic abilities, and kind of like nod and turn to others and begin talking, and you've definitely got some goodwill in the crowd from that. Unfortunately, the speaker is unimpressed, and so he waits. He goes silent for a bit until you're beyond the fence, and then begins yelling and shouting again.
He's a rabble rouser. No matter what we do, he's always just going to stay mad. There's always going to be something that we can't do or that we did that makes it, I don't know. Even if we fix everything, he'll just say that it's just because of his words, and all of a sudden he's going to become somebody important whenever he's just a idiot.
Yes, but hopefully we spoke to some of the people, because you're going to need their help later on, I have a feeling. And that's why we're here. So let's find any samples and find out if we actually have someone who's behind this.
All right. As you enter the mine, it is a big, cavernous expanse. They have mined out as much as is safely possible. Like, there are massive pillars of rock, but they hold up these wide open squares where just every last square centimeter has been shaved away. It goes down to about 9 levels. Each level splits off into a number of tunnels, maybe 4 or 5, and on the second level, which has 7, you'll find in Mineshaft 7, there is a Zakdorn wearing an environmental mask, working on a machine that looks like it is meant to scan the rock face. And he is very much sort of leaned over and has half his body in the innards of this machine. You see the occasional spark and the occasional grunt, but he seems unaware of your presence.
I'll walk up and tap him on his shoulder.
Should have wedgied him.
He jerks. You hear a thud, and he goes, "Oh, my head! Oh, God, what do you want?"
Are you Keldar?
Yeah.
All right. My name is Lieutenant Commander Lakir. I have a couple questions for you.
And that his expression kind of changes a bit and goes, "What do you mean questions?"
In your computer system, the reason that you've been having so many issues is that there has been a virus uploaded into the computer system. Do you know anything of this?
Why would I know anything about it? I'm down here repairing equipment.
I mean, it was downloaded under your name.
He kind of looks at you for a moment. Is this some sort of joke?
Do I look like I'm joking?
I don't think Gnosticans are known for their sense of humor.
I can never quite tell with non-Zakdorns. He looks over at Dr. Kitten. No, honestly, I have no idea.
No, I'm not joking.
This is the chief engineer of the Galatea, and he has found some very disturbing evidence that is pointing to you. And well, as you can see, he doesn't look happy.
Couldn't somebody, I don't know, stolen my ID card or something?
Has your ID card gone missing in the past 2 weeks?
I mean, not that I noticed, but I don't keep track of it 24/7. I mean, when I'm home, I just kind of leave it on the counter.
Would you also like to explain how your spending and the time and the amount of your spending has also increased since the virus was introduced to the system?
As well, and this is him eyeing and eyeing, not me. Goes, well, my great uncle died. My great uncle died and
okay.
left me some money.
Okay. How would they die of?
Old age?
Yet, you're telling me. I'm not telling you to ask me what they died of. You're the one whose great uncle or whatever died.
Old age isn't a proper diagnosis.
I would like you to, roll an insight command to get a feel for them. And
Can I assist him on this with my psychiatry?
Yes, you can. And this is going to be an opposed roll.
Interspecies diplomacy? Question mark.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. Opposed.
So I'm gonna roll as well, and you'll need to beat their successes.
Ooh, I have 2 successes. Ooh.
Would my medicine be used as my command, or do I have to use command on this one?
I'd say on this one you'd have to use command to tell if he's lying.
So in the rule book, there was something that said that I could create a problem for enemy NPCs if I spend 2 momentum. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty obvious that I could tell he's kind of full of crap, and like I have this evidence against him. If I spend those 2 momentum, can I just be like, he feels that he's getting caught, so it's harder for him to pass, I guess? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, is that you can spend 2 momentum to, I believe that's create a disadvantage and like remove 1 die from him. Is that correct?
Well, you can treat it several ways. The first is what I think he's doing is creating an advantage for himself. Or, you know what, let me find the page for that. Give me a moment.
Yeah. Either way, I have this lowly threat to spend. So it wouldn't be an automatic success, but it would definitely, it seems like it would give you a bonus or give me a detriment.
Yeah, get used to these sheets. There, now I roll it.
Okay, create problem. A character can choose to make things more difficult for an opponent, increasing the difficulty of a single task by 1 for every 2 momentum spent. The decision to increase a task's difficulty must be made before any dice are rolled on that task. So yeah, it's basically a 2 momentum for a NPC complication.
Which unfortunately the dice have already been rolled on that one.
Right.
Yeah, okay. And even create an opportunity and create an advantage, I think has to be done before the task is rolled.
Yes.
Okay. So unfortunately, yeah. But I'm going to spend some threat to give myself another die on this opposed business. Oh, yeah. Beat me by 1. With the assistance of the doctor, you're able to see that They are indeed lying through their teeth.
I'm assuming I'm much taller than him, or am I kind of, or is the mine big enough for me to be standing straight up, or am I already kind of hunched over?
No, they're probably a good 10 feet high.
Oh, okay.
Like they're meant for machinery to go through more than people. So
Okay.
they're a good size.
There goes your. One moment. I need to get my I need to get my healer. I need to get my. I need to get something out to fix his shoulders because you're going to be dislocating them again, aren't you?
That was a little too hectic. His knees look pretty good though. How do you think? What do you think about those this time?
Ooh,
Also, as far as you
she starts
towering
looking
over
into
him,
her medical kit.
yeah. As far as you towering over him, he has the infamous Zach Dorn slump, like a bit of a hump in the back, and head is down, kind of between his shoulders.
Yeah. I'm just gonna lean down and I'm just gonna put one of my hands on his shoulder and just kind of look at him dead in the eye and just be like, "Look, I know you're full of shit. Either you start talking, or I send you up to the Galatea, and then you get to deal with a Federation court. It's up to you."
Says, Court? Court, what are you talking about? I thought this was just a matter of someone incorrectly logging in. I didn't. Like, it was just a little virus. I mean, people pick them up all the time. You can't click on those Ferengi ads, they're all spam.
So Kazula does cough at this and says, "Even though I am not a betazoid, it strikes me as very illogical that such a virus could be planted. This was done with deliberate intent."
There's also reason to believe that this virus is what's causing the workers to get sick. So if it's found that it is,
At
that's
that, when you say that, his already sort of Zakdorn drooping jowls droop even further. His eyes widen and goes, "What do you mean?"
the virus was messing with several systems. Anytime that it was removed from by the antivirus from one system, it immediately attacked another system. There's reason to believe that this virus also affected the environmental systems and the safety precautions in this mine. So all of those sick people up there, there's a good chance they were caused by this virus. So is there anything that you should be telling me to convince me to not send you off to a Federation court? Or should I go ahead and have you transported up?
He sort of crosses his arms and, like, holding his face in his hand and kind of rocking back and forth for a second. Because I think I want a legal representative.
Oh, this is gonna be a massive bluff. I'm about to, oh my god, this is not gonna work. I want to kind of turn back to the lieutenant and just say, well, Rika's already given us their deposition. I'm sure that's enough to convict this. I'm sure it's enough to convict him.
And at that, he kind of straightens up a little bit and says, "So you have nothing."
I didn't say I had nothing. We have a deposition and I have evidence. What do you have?
Because I know Rika's not involved. I would like to speak to a legal representative.
So much to probably like Kier's jargon, Kazula does speak up and says, Unfortunately, sir, if he's asking for legal representatives, we must provide one.
Remind me, Lieutenant, how legal representation works.
So out of character, it's kind of hard to gauge for sure because the only really instances of it in the show are the drumhead and the measure of a man. So it's
Not true court martial.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Original series episode, and where Kirk was up on court martial, and then there is the two-parter where they replayed Decades, where Spock was up for court martial.
So there are two instances that I know of civilians being in trouble with the law shown, and that's Cassidy Yates and someone on Enterprise. I know that doesn't necessarily count, but I'm pretty sure that they have the right to an attorney as a Federation citizen.
Yeah, as
Right.
Federation citizens, it's like a basic right.
Yeah.
Right, but I didn't know if that we had someone on board the Galatea that could that was considered like the frontier one, or if there was they have a lawyer or they have a legal representation for their people on this planet that we need to get a hold of.
Oh, can I ask a question? Yours done. His is done.
Oh, sure.
Oh.
So you're a
After you're done
tiny bit
answering his
quiet
question.
for me.
What?
I said you were a tiny bit quiet for me. I couldn't quite hear you. I've
sorry.
turned you up in Discord there, so.
Yeah, I was trying to. I was just wondering. Do we know the Mykar starship is up there?
Nope.
No, as far as I know, that has not been communicated.
All right. Never mind them.
But it was a good question. Would we have JAG officers on the Galatea, or would we have to basically have either the XO or a ranking officer act as legal counsel?
This may not be the most, useful in RPG terms, but it seems to me that the most likely scenario would be that you either have to have an arbiter or judge or what have you come there, or go to the nearest Federation colony
or starbase.
They wouldn't have anything on this planet.
It's a sparse mining world, so they don't necessarily have their own. They have a internal sort of company security and things like that, but there is no serious Federation presence. They're not treated like a member world because there's so few people here.
Well, the evidence. The evidence said he got this from a foreign power, like the Romulans. Does make it that he is a military prisoner. Wouldn't it be? I mean, that's where he got it from, isn't it? Or did I? I'm a doctor, so what do I know?
I mean, it hasn't been ruled out.
I'm trying to see how he's reacting when I said that.
Oh, I see. So you're saying this out loud?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He says, if that were true, I would gladly take a life sentence in a nice Federation work colony than crossing the Romulans any day. If that were true. Hypothetically speaking.
We could always just extradite him back to Romulus.
If it's Rom, well, yeah, or it could be Cardassian, Orion, because isn't he?
He did mention Ferengi, so technically that is an outside influence. And if we have enough for a bribery charge, yeah, that's it. I'm sure.
So, kind of as all this keeps adding up and the conversation keeps going, I want to say go ahead and make one last kind of opposed roll, presence command, and of course you can help, Doctor. Just to see if you can basically intimidate him with all this discussion of extradition and bringing in lawyers and such. Just to sum up this whole kind of conversation that's been going on here. So give me a presence command, Lakir, and Doctor can help.
One, I'll buy an extra dice through threat. That way I ignore complications.
Okay.
And then,
So you're giving me a threat?
yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to create problem again, or nope?
There's 3 successes.
Yeah, just remember that spending the momentum to like create a problem and such, you got to do that before you roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just use that to create the third die. That's also good. Okay, so 3. I'm going to spend one of my threat. Oh.
Yeah. So do we get 2 momentum back? Question mark. Or we get 2 momentum?
What
Right.
was the task difficulty?
It was opposed roll.
Well, I mean, there's still a difficulty to an opposed roll.
Oh, is there? I must have misunderstood something. I thought it was just against
So, for
them.
example, melee combat is a difficulty 1 daring plus security opposed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, we see that in the latest episode of Ophium when Panic in the fights
Hylong?
is in. Yep.
I want to say that was probably difficulty 3, and so you passed but didn't gain any extra momentum from that.
Okay. Side note.
Mhm.
Kitten has the doctor gotten his scans to see if it is like something down here in the mines causing the issue, or
Not yet.
have we not got? Okay.
I haven't had a chance to do that yet. I've been talking to him.
Okay.
And with that, after all this talk, he's like, listen, all they said was they wanted me to upload a file. I didn't know about anything else. I didn't know about anything about this disease. They just wanted a file.
So Kazula does actually again step in, probably again much to Lakir's disapproval, but she says, Lieutenant Commander, if it's all right with you, I would like to immediately beam up with this lovely Zach Dorn to make sure that his statement is recorded for posterity.
Real quick. Who told you to upload the file?
It was... I never saw their face. All right, they threatened... Listen, sometimes we find flame gems, all right? They grow naturally in these caves. It's supposed to go to the company. But sometimes you take a little and sell it on the side. They found out and said they would tell the company. I didn't upload just a little file. I thought it was just gonna be a bug, just corporate espionage. I didn't know anything about this.
So just so I have my notes properly. So basically, the company was threatened, and they made Kalner do the virus upload.
Well, no, he was just saying that normally the company gets the money from the flame gems, but he was selling on the side, and that a figure, a third party that he doesn't know, blackmailed him and said they would report him to the company.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, get this Undaria away from me.
Understood, sir. And then, unless phaser fire immediately breaks out, I will take him up to the Galatea for. I wouldn't like say throw him in the brig, but definitely to get his deposition on quote unquote.
We we need to work on our bad Nausicaan goodcation thing. I think it actually works.
Certainly worked here.
What do you mean bad Nausicaan? I was playing good Nausicaan. I thought you were playing bad Cation.
So we're coming up on the 2 hour mark, and I need to run to the bathroom. So I think now would be a good time to take a little break
Right?
All right.
and be back
All right,
in just a few minutes.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
There you go. At the risk of sounding like an absolute asshole, I noticed you were saying the word CHRAGIN.
Yeah, or attempting
Or
to anyway.
CHAGRI. Yeah. I according to Webster's, it's chagrin.
Chagrin. Okay.
Sorry, that's
Good to know.
yeah.
No,
that's-
I do not mind being corrected on pronunciation.
Yeah. I don't go around correcting people on like science or politics or anything like that, but pronunciation, it's the one thing that my brain wants to say. Actually,
Chagrin.
yeah.
All right. I've been saying Achargan this entire time, so no one's said anything. So do they think I'm an idiot, or who knows? But chagrin. Okay, I'll remember that. Thank you.
I have a tendency to look up the pronunciations, especially I think dictionary.com and Webster's have ones that actually will speak it out for you. Because I used to. Most of the words I know I learned from reading first and then hearing later. So, of course, I mispronounced everything for the longest time.
Oh, I butcher every name I come across.
Even his own sometimes.
Yeah.
Jamas. I'm Jamas. I am from Sweden.
Oh dear.
That'd be Yames. I'm Yames.
I'm Ez.
Yeah. Yumpin, Yemeni. Have the urge to basically analyze the story, and say, here's where I went wrong. But I'll save that for the end.
Well, as they say, no plan survives contact with the enemy.
Sure.
So,
Nothing's blown up. Nobody's died. It's a good mission.
Keyword that wasn't said was yet.
I've still got 2 threat. I'm not afraid to
Yeah,
use it.
so about that, for every adventure I've ever come across and run, it's recommended that you start with 2 threat per player.
Wow, that's actually quite a bit.
Yeah, they give you a lot of threat to work with, and I guess the assumption is that you use it more often, but I just like to save it up for these big climatic moments to make them more climatic, so...
He does. It's annoying.
And I guess if you have a quote-unquote problem with having too much threat, a good way to get rid of it is just to increase the complication range, because it's a very simple spend and it can actually make a difference.
Definitely would have made a difference on a couple of those 19s.
Oh yeah. And it's not like when you have to buy dice with momentum, where it's like 1, then 2, then 3. For complication range, I think it is literally 1-to-1.
The thing I've always wondered about that, though, is let's say you lower the complication range to 17.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's say that my scores are 12 and a 5 and a 17. Well, I roll a 17. Do I succeed or do I fail?
Depends on the difficulty of the task. If it's difficulty 2, then you pass with a complication. Otherwise, if it's like difficulty 3, then you fail with a complication. That's why it's always so important to know what the difficulty of a task is.
Yeah, that took me some getting used to when I was first watching streams of this game. Because I'm, like with other systems, I'm used to keeping the difficulty hidden.
Right.
Like in most other systems I played, Savage Worlds, Fate, D&D, and so forth, always keep it hidden and keep them guessing. That was always the sort of motto. But in this, you gotta know.
Yeah, because there's so much like momentum, threat. You all need to know these things before you make the roll. I don't know though. I guess because I ran D&D for what was it, 2-3 years before coming to. So I went D&D to 40K to this. So I've seen the slew of different ways to handle the quote-unquote hidden DC. And honestly, I like STA out of all of them because it's less work for me as the GM to say, all right, I'm spending this many threat to make your difficulty this, rather than saying, roll mysteriously and I'll let you know what the DC is.
It definitely does. Like both will give you tension. It's just, yeah. It feels like a very different tension when you know what's coming, or when you know how you can fail.
Doomsaying or like prophecy, like, oh god, it's a difficulty 4, we're gonna fail.
Yeah. Sure, you can cure this disease at difficulty 5.
I don't know if you watch Ophion at all, but there was an instance where at the end of combat, they wanted to hail the Romulans they were fighting and convince them of something. And I ruled initially that it's like, this is an impossible task. They're not going to listen to anything you say. But they spent 2 momentum to create an advantage to make the task even possible to begin with. I forget what page it's on, but there's a good example in the book of something similar where Janeway...
negotiates with the board.
Yeah, that's the one. And of course, with Ophion's player's luck, they passed the difficulty 5 task and still gain momentum. So, Well, so Brian might be dead. I honestly don't know where he is.
I'll page him in the chat real quick. That should give a ping.
Anyone else back?
Oh, he has himself.
Speak of the devil and he shall appear.
Hello?
Yeah, he's got his.
Oh, your headset's muted. Headset's muted. Oh, it doesn't fucking help to tell him that his headset's muted. Fucking dumbass.
It's okay. Somebody once told me they had a problem with their monitor and it wasn't showing the right colors, so I took a screenshot on my screen, what it looked like, and I sent it to him. And I was like, oh, right.
My sister cracked her phone the other day. She's like, I can't see anything. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll look at it whenever I get home. No, I'll just show it to you now, and took a screenshot and sent it. And I'm like, this, not how it works.
Unfortunately, I don't know the mobile version of this very well, so I'm not sure where to tell him to go to click it. I mean, I know on the desktop app, you just click the headset icon.
Well, hopefully this doesn't disconnect me as I look it up.
Whenever you open up the voice channel, it has next to your name the microphone and headset.
I can server deafen, but I can't server undeafen.
Testing.
I don't know if he's looking at chat right now.
It keeps saying he's typing.
For us, it's saying you're typing. I'll just.
I thought he was a second ago as well.
I'll
Maybe send
private
him a
message him.
message,
Maybe.
hopefully
Maybe.
that'll-
Yeah.
I don't know if I worded that right just now. I assume it would keep your settings if you logged out and logged back in.
Yeah, it's synced across clients, so it won't turn back off. Especially because, as far as I know, the microphone on-off or deafen on-off is saved between sessions and channels.
Yeah. But can one of you describe how it is on the mobile client? I don't have the mobile client. Maybe that would help. I don't know.
I mean, literally all it is that Imagine is like at the bottom where it says voice connected, then it has our pic. It has your username, your number, and then it has the
So the
microphone
same as-
headset.
Oh, so
It's-
it's
yeah,
the
it's the
same
exact
as on
same.
the desktop? Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, I mean,
comedy
we
of
could take
errors.
this time, and I could flirt with the captain again. I mean,
Hello?
yes, we hear you, but you can't hear us.
For Pete's sake. What's going on here?
Look at chat. Hear my words from beyond. Look at chat.
My phone's not working.
I didn't mean to capitalize. We. It just sounds like I'm yelling.
We hear you.
Darmok and July.
If I was a more brilliant man, I would love to introduce that species to either one of my groups, but I am not a clever
Which
man.
species?
The
Talarians.
ones, the Talarians, the ones that do the whole, Darmok at Tanagra and stuff like that.
Oh, the speaking rhyme or speaking not metaphors.
Cultural references.
Yeah.
Basically memes. Yeah.
They're basically nerds. Yes.
It would be the equivalent of someone coming up to you and saying, Maddox at Tide Pod 8. And you're just like, the hell does that mean?
O'Reilly when the broadcast failed. We'll do it live. All right. Well,
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I've
It's an
pinged him
interesting situation.
text all the channels I can think of. So until he reads chat, we're kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah. Click the button, man. I think we'll continue on for the moment.
Well, then I think the next thing that needs to happen is for him to scan the mine.
Sure, but we can switch back to the captain or the discussion with the prisoner.
yeah, whichever you'd want to do first. I can do either.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. He found it.
Oh.
Can you hear
I'm
us?
sorry. I believe I can. Sorry.
good. That's all right.
Sorry, it's like I had to reboot everything here. It's like I lost connection to everything. That's why I had to drop down of the Discord and as well as drop down of the Roll20 because I had lost signal. So sorry about that. I don't really get that happening. Okay.
Alrighty. Scene transition there.
Oh yeah, let me
So-
know when I need to do scene transitions, by the way, so I know to get rid of momentum.
Oh yes, yeah, that's something I keep forgetting as well. So you guys are still in the mine. I think the next step is to get those readings we were talking about.
That was my plan. So I will use my tricorder reading to check the area, see if there's anything that is similar to the samples I have from my car.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can find if it was an environment down here in the mine.
Are
So
you just scanning the atmosphere, or are you scanning the air recirculation system, or what?
I'm going to be checking, starting off with the air system,
Hmm.
going down to soil, to the air quality itself.
Mhm.
Around the area where they would be working, including where they were recently working as well. Trying to do a pure sweep through everything.
Okay, first let's do the general scan, and that's, I believe, reason medicine, since you're using a medical tricorder.
Right.
And it's a difficulty 0 task to scan for just anything in the atmosphere currently.
My medicine, because I don't think is my those were so. What do you tell me? It's my medicine and insight, daring. What?
Just reason medicine should to use
Reason?
the medical tricorder. Mm-hmm.
You said okay. That's for this.
Sorry, I can barely hear you.
I don't have a focus for this.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I just have to move my mic
Ah.
when I was fiddling around. I'm going to do that, and I am going to click on, and I will.
All right, so you gain momentum there. And as far as you can tell, in the atmosphere currently, there are obvious pollutants you would expect. Nothing that would necessarily cause this. Like the heavy metals in the air from the topoline are at acceptable parts per million. Like within acceptable limits. Looks like the air processing system is working at full capacity, so like there's very little pollutants in the air. It's clear. Even if you shine a light in there, the dust isn't that bad. So currently, it looks like the mines are free of any sort of contagion.
Okay. What about beforehand, though?
Well, if you want to scan the environmental system itself, that's going to be a little more difficult.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So again, reason medicine. This time, difficulty 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, and D3. Do you mind? Did we get that extra point? So it should be at 3 now. Did I had 1 success because it was difficulty 0, or
It should be a 3 now,
momentum?
yes. I think. Mike, did you get that last?
Oh, okay, there it goes. Yeah, I for some reason Roll20 was not responding.
Oh, okay. But yeah,
So
Hopefully it's right now.
there we go.
Okay, it's going to be a difficulty 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to be checking the environmental systems.
Yeah, the system itself, like the environmental units.
Okay, with that, I'm going to definitely. I think Lakir should definitely take point on this one. He This is mechanical device checking to see if how they were working and so forth. I think that would be more up his alley than it would be mine. Then I can just roll
Yeah,
support.
as far as like finding any sort of contagion, that would definitely be more yours. But to like get into the guts of the system, like I could see Lakir helping here by getting you access to the innards of the system.
Right.
But it would still, you would still need to lead on this with reason medicine to actually get the information you need.
All right. Do you guys mind if I because this is a difficulty 3? Do you guys mind if I spend a momentum?
No,
Go
go
ahead.
for it.
Okay, then I like to spend all the momentum to give myself 2 additional 20 then.
Hmm.
Because this is going to be a really nasty one. Because your second dice for momentum is twice the
Mm-hmm.
amount, so that would be all 3.
Alternatively, you could do 1 momentum, 1 threat. I think.
Yeah, let's do 1 momentum, 1 threat. That way we can keep 2 on our
All right.
thing here. Good
I'll
idea.
probably
Uh,
find later that it's still his second die is always 2, but you know.
Yeah. So and so then
What do you want me to roll with, Friar?
Let's see. I would say reason engineering to like open up the units, get into the nooks and crannies that you can't really access from the outside.
Power systems? Question mark.
I mean, it's not really not if you mean like power generation. Like this is environmental, so it really doesn't have anything to do with that
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay. Ooh. Damn. Okay.
And that reason medicine roll.
Well, succeeded, but
Succeeded.
there's complication.
it says it rolled an 18. I don't know why it's red though.
Because it resets to 2 when you open
Yeah.
up the sheet again.
Oh,
That's unusual. That's all right.
it's one of the weird things about the. I gotta get used to the official sheets.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a so
Yeah, so
didn't
that's
have
not
a
a
crit
that's not a
fails.
complication, but you did succeed.
Okay.
A natural 1. So you find residue of biomimetic gel.
Mm-hmm.
On one of the access filters, like the filter you would need to go in and physically change. You see residue on the
Mm-hmm.
frame of the filter of biomimetic gel.
And what does it tell me?
Biomimetic gel, is mostly used for creating biogenic weapons,
Mm,
which are weapons that attack.
Like,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just
I
stuff
guess I
to
didn't
do
phrase it right. I didn't
in-character
guess I
stuff.
didn't phrase it right.
Hmm.
What kind of looking and doing the scan?
Mhm.
What is this bio weapon supposed to be doing exactly?
Um,
Is it comparable to what we're doing, or do I have to spend a momentum what I'm looking for, or do I have to spend momentum point to get that answer?
Unfortunately, to get that answer, you would really need to find what's being affected in the body of a subject. This just will tell you that this will help you pinpoint what you're looking for. You now know this is a biogenic weaponized virus, or weaponized genetic resequencing. So now you know the telltale markers, what to look at, and this will make it much easier for you to find and spot what is going on in the bodies of these people and help find a cure.
I'm going to take a sample of it with my from my medical kit. I'm assuming
Mhm.
there's like a specimen.
Yeah, this
Ways
is
of
less a breakthrough and more of a this was the missing puzzle piece, and now it starts to make sense.
well, it. I look over. You should have removed his arms from their sockets. We got a bioengineered weapon here.
Yeah, go ahead, take a sample. I'll alert the captain. Away
Thank you.
team to Galatea.
I'm not there, so it's an NPC that answers.
Yeah, it would be Lieutenant Commander Michaels would be in command at that point, and she said, "This
Michaels.
is the Galatea.
Michaels, where's the captain?
The captain is visiting our Mirak friends who just entered orbit.
Oh, that's wonderful to know. Sure. Um, let him know we just found evidence of a bioengineered virus. So this is a violation of the Federation's stance on bioengineering. And have him, or go ahead and have, who was communications? Gale?
Verdot was communications.
Verdot?
Mhm.
Okay. Go ahead and have Verdot send out a message up the CO's, up the chain of command, letting them know what we found here, because this is now a very big issue.
And Michael says, sounds like more like a war crime down there than a plague.
Bingo.
And we have no idea who said it. There might be a chance that our captain's new friends could be it. It could be one of these Zach Dorn. It could be some random person. But at this point, there's no telling who said it. All we know is we now have a way to start helping these people.
Do inform the captain it's not a plague.
And Michael says, will do. Should we inform Starbase 138?
I feel it would be the proper thing to do at this point.
All right, I'll update them on our situation. Do you need any help down there?
Keep a security team on standby and keep every one of our signals locked on. The moment one of our signals start to fluctuate, just pull all of us.
Will do.
Away team out.
All right, so. And Kazula transported back with the Zakdorn, is that correct?
Yes.
That is correct, yeah.
Alrighty, so what is your next step?
I guess Lakir and Doctor are gonna go back to the medical area and let the doctor do her stuff to figure out how to cure these people.
I'm concerned.
You go ahead.
I am concerned about the machines here. They're still infected by that virus, yes?
We're gonna do a complete scrub down. I'm sure Starfleet will send security officers who are trained in handling this stuff. Mine's
Yes,
probably
but
going to be shut down for a couple weeks while they clear it all out, but most we can do is quarantine specifically this mine.
all right. So in other words, you can't do anything to make sure that the virus isn't going to be affecting the system, any of my analysis.
No. I think you're confused. The computer virus was already handled. It was already gotten rid of.
That's what I was asking about.
Yeah,
If he
that's
had
already
gotten
been
rid of it.
handled.
Mhm.
That's done and over
All
with.
right.
Yeah.
All right,
So now
wonderful.
we're on the biological virus.
Yeah, I was on the physical one, just making sure that because the machines were still being infected, it would have been better for me to go see if we can get it back on board with the ship. All right, let's get over. Let's take a look here. And I'm going to head over to the tinted area with the
Mhm.
get through the people to the to get back to my get back to my nurse and get to work.
So this examination and any sort of synthesis of a cure is going to take possibly a few days. You've got a lot of. You're going to have to test this against a lot of known biogenic weapons. Look for, run different chemical series and comparisons before you can even identify, and then you have to figure out a way of destroying it without hurting the patient. So this is actually going to be an extended task.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. And I don't know how else to put this, but like, since this will take place over days, other things may occur during that time that we may cut to and come back. So we're not doing all the roles at once.
okay.
But we can begin with working on it. You can launch in right away.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a difficulty 3 test to start with. If you want, I can tell you the whole series information. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but difficulty 3 and work 10, magnitude 3.
Will Grawl be assisting?
Yes, Skrull will be able to assist. Unfortunately, Lakir could provide equipment, but really that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can only have one person assisting.
Yeah.
So only.
I'm just saying that Lakir can't really assist much here.
And if it's going to be across a couple days, you could just come up to the Galatea and use the Galatea's medical stuff. You just got to convince the captain to let you come back to the Galatea.
Mm-hmm. Because Galatea would be a stronger processing system. I'm going to click on my comm badge. This is Dr. Kitten trying to contact to Captain Salak.
Do I get it on the Mirak vessel, or is it relayed to me?
They can relay the signal easily to your comm badge. There's no interference coming through on that ship.
All right. I say
And by this
go
time,
ahead.
By this time, you've been invited to, let's say, a wine and cheese party with the leader of this ship, the captain.
Captain, I found the cause of the situation that is here on the planet, and I am going to need to beam board with some of the samples to work in the in sick bay.
Give me one moment, and I turn to Jorana and say, do you have a private space I could perhaps take this in?
Because, of course, you can use my ready room.
Thank you. And trusting her on faith that she doesn't have it bugged, I'm going to continue the conversation once inside, and I say, you're going to need to be a little bit more specific when you say you've found the cause for me to lift quarantine.
Captain, are you alone?
About as alone as I'm going to get at the moment.
All right. What we found is a possible chemical weapon, biological chemical weapon that was used against the Mycar on board on this planet. We found it hooked up into the environmental systems. This is could very much be the cause of why only the Mycar miners are sick and their families are not.
I see. Were you, again, you'll have to excuse me, I'm not exactly the most medically inclined person, but was there any way to trace the gel's origin? I know obviously the Federation deals with it, but could this have been, say, Romulan in origin or Maquis or...
I would not be able to determine that, sir, until I can get a full analysis of of it itself and to find a cure. But there is possibilities that I could be able to trace it to who might be responsible. certain races do have certain chemicals that they are prone to use. But I'm going to need the processing power of Galatea to be able to determine that.
Of course, no one sees this, but I kind of rub my forehead in thought and I say, all right, I'll allow you and the away team to beam back up, but you specifically, Doctor, I want to make sure that the transporter's biofilter is configured by Lakir before you're brought up. And even then, I'd appreciate it if you kept quarantine procedures in sickbay until we, get a cure for this disease or this plague, even though it is a biological weapon.
Understand, as long as the replicators give me mint tea and so forth, I should be perfectly fine.
Well, I think Lakir got rid of Vulcan mochas and Ractagino, but that's a discussion for another time. Is there anything else,
Yes.
Doctor?
No, that'll be fine.
Excellent. Well, Captain out. And yeah, I will return to the wine and cheese party.
Give me I'm going to say, presence command roll.
Okay, what's the difficulty?
Resist telepathy. It's going to be an opposed roll. I'm going to say the difficulty for this is 2. And they will also be rolling, and I'm going to be spending threat to give them an extra die.
Anyone mind if I create a temporary advantage using the two momentum we have?
Go ahead.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like you
Mhm.
mentioned before, like when you introduced the mic here, you said that they were, or at least the females were telepathic in origin, right?
That's right. That was included in the information packet.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't imagining it.
Yeah. So yeah, your character would definitely know ahead of time that they're dealing
I
with
think
a telepath.
obviously in the moment of the conversation I wouldn't be doing it, but coming out of the conversation, I would immediately switch and think of something else that is close to what's going on. Like, I think, this is hard to kind of explain.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, oh dear, they're biogenic weapons, this is a huge deal, instead I want to specifically think, okay, the doctor has found a possible way to cure the plague. Kind of a subtle shift in thinking that's still the truth, but it's attempting to mask the other thing. Now, obviously, I don't know if that's enough to give me the advantage, but it's worth a shot.
I'd say you would definitely have to pay the momentum for that, but yeah, you would be able to make a concerted effort to mask your thoughts or give particular thoughts. Making sure that the information received by a telepath would be that.
Well then, if we don't mind doing that, I'd also like to buy a dice with threat.
Okay.
So that would be so it was difficulty 2, yes. It would go down to difficulty 1 for me, and with 3 die, if I have more momentum, like if she succeeds and I have still more momentum, then I still win out.
I believe. Is it 1 for 1 or 2 for 1 if I'm buying an extra die with threat?
It's a good question. I've always subscribed that it's the same with momentum, but it's probably worth checking for sure in this instance. Let's see. Can use threat in all the ways that player characters use group momentum. Whenever a player character adds blah 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 blah. Game Master may create a complication by spending 2 threats. Immediate momentum when the character steps to blah. Now that's how to give the GM threat. And there's probably another sidebar in the PDF somewhere, but I'm looking at page 86. And I read the first bullet as, yeah, if you want 2 die, then it's 3 threat. And if you want 3 die, it's 6 threat.
Okay, so I'm going to spend all 3 of my threat here to make this a 4. Fortunately, I don't have the macro set up for that, so I'm going to roll 3 and then 1. Let's see, is that's a 1,
She got an
so it's
natural
actually
1.
2. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got it.
And sort of as you walk into the room, she gives you a smile and says, "Do you have news?"
I do. It's troubling news, but I don't want to leap to any hasty conclusions yet. Needless to say, I think what you said earlier about your people being persecuted, I believe there's a definite, well, to put it bluntly, there's some good evidence that that might be the case here, that your people were deliberately targeted.
It is, as I've told you, the Zakdorn people especially look down on us, Mirak. They view us as nothing but mindless labor.
Well,
As if we're nothing but a race of androids who do nothing but work. They care not for our needs, and when we complain, this is what we get.
Tell me, Jorana, how much do you know of my species?
I know only that they are considered fearsome warriors by the Federation and live far from here.
Well, to try and put this in a diplomatic sort of way, and I give her a wink, my people are not exactly known to be diplomats. I am a bit of an oddity, which I fully will admit is probably why I'm standing in front of you. I say this because your situation resonates with me. I basically would like to give your people the best chance possible. And I'd like you to believe it when I say that if I find out that the Zakdorn are behind this attack, then I will use my full weight as a Starfleet captain to see that justice is delivered.
I almost want to have you roll again, but are what emotion would you be giving off right about now?
Definite conviction. I firmly believe what I say.
Mhm.
And I would also kind of give off, I guess you would qualify it as almost like a Kirk swagger. Like,
Okay.
this may not exactly fly in regulations, but I don't give a crap.
Your mind's eye has a Vaseline lens and eyelighting.
Something like that.
Because yeah, she's not pushing to probe your mind. You know, you don't feel that as you did before, but just she's studying you. So says that is good to hear, and I would like you to know that we are not here to stir trouble or to simply blame our, well, as some would view, our betters. We are here for our people, and anything that can help our people, we will gladly help. We will gladly aid you in any way we can.
Oh, I'm glad we're on the same page. Actually, one moment. And in front of her, so she can hear the conversation, I tap my comm badge and I say, like here, do you read?
Like here, Captain.
Have you been able to locate the individual known as Rika yet?
We haven't. However, we're just now exiting the mine. Lieutenant Kozula
Kazula.
has taken Keldorn into custody.
Very good. I'd like it if you could at least make contact with Rika before you beam up to mess with the. Let me put it this way. You or someone else on the away team needs to make contact with Rika, and although I'm sure the doctor's already told you this, I need you to do a very good job in configuring the biofilters, because as you know, I'm very paranoid.
Understood, Captain. I'll get to work on finding this Rika.
I look to Duran and I say, does he have any distinguishable features? Is he scarred? Does he perhaps is he a different color? What anything you can give us?
It is mostly orange fur and a white mark on the right half of his face. A white fur, excuse me, on the right half of his face. You will know him because he will be the one speaking loudest.
Well, there you go. Like here, that should make him very easy to find.
I glanced back at the one that was doing all the talking over at the mine.
Mm-hmm.
Is that him?
It is.
Yeah, very audible groan. Yeah, I found him, Captain.
I'm going to assume that's not a good groan, but you can brief me on that later.
He's got the people very, very upset.
I raise an eyebrow at Joanna, but I say, well, don't escalate things any further, please.
Me
Andrana-
escalate things?
Go ahead. Yeah.
You know, if he's the one who's responsible, he might actually have a cure.
I'll
But
leave it to your judgment.
as you
You're
say
on the
not
ground
to-
and I am not.
as you say, not to escalate things, Jorana just like wags her tail for a moment, like just flicks it about and says, "We are a passionate people. I make no apologies."
I don't expect any. As I was saying, though, Doctor, and like here, use your best judgment on how to approach this Rika individual. But, Doctor, your priority should be to find this cure. So, whatever order of operations gets that done faster, go for it. You have my approval. And yeah, if nobody says anything else, I'll tap my comm badge off, and I will.
I, Cap.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I, Captain. Like here.
And
Do you have any ideas on how to scare the crap out of this guy to
I'm a
good
Nausicaan.
good Nausicaan, bad Cation?
I'm a Nausicaan. I think that should be enough.
There we are. There we are. You living into species stereotypes.
yeah, presence plus Nuskin.
Well, we might as well.
Let's go have a chat with him at least. Maybe he's a little bit nicer than he comes off to be.
Although I wonder if I should ask if he'll come with us into the environmental filters, how he would react.
I mean, if it's known that they're getting sick down there,
Hmm.
I will say, so far, you notice that it doesn't seem to affect Zakdorn, and the Zakdorn aren't really taking precautions. They seem like they're, that they've realized it doesn't affect them, and they're not even bothering with masks anymore.
okay.
So it's the rebel rouser is a Mycar, correct?
Oh yeah, Mirak. Mm-hmm.
Mirak, yeah. Let's go talk to the Mirak.
All right.
Quick point of order: do you guys want to continue past 9 o'clock?
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay.
I don't have a problem.
Not an issue.
In that case, we'll go another hour.
Sure.
Okay, it's
All right.
7:30 my time, so
Okay. All right. So you're going to interrogate him, or working on the cure, or what? both simultaneously.
What's his name? Rika? Rika?
Rika, Rika.
Rika. I'm going to. I want to approach the crowd and just kind of look at Rika and point at him, and just, hey, there's something that I would like to discuss with you privately.
He looks around at the gathered crowd and says, "I have no secrets from my brothers and sisters."
Okay. So you know nothing about being So you wouldn't mind telling me where you were 2 weeks ago?
It's 2 weeks. Uh, Probably at corporate headquarters, arguing about better conditions in the mine.
Hmm. What a coincidence.
And do you happen to know anyone by the name of Kelnar?
Says, no, sounds like a Zakdorn name, not a Mirak name. He kind of looks and
Well,
plays to the crowd and says, "I don't keep company with Zakdorn."
that's kind of a bigoted response, but okay.
Well,
Well, he's been found having been bribed and blackmailed into uploading a virus that sabotaged several systems on the planet. Uh, we were also told by, what's the name of the Merrick Don in space right now talking to the captain?
Jarana?
Jarana. We were also told to speak to you by Jarana. She said that there was something that you would be willing to tell us.
And when you say Jarana, his shoulders kind of slump and he says, "All right. Go home, brothers and sisters. We'll have our day yet." And he jumps down from this like cargo container he's been standing on and walks up to you. If Jarana trusts you, then I suppose. What do you want to know?
Are we kind of, are there lingerers like watching us, or is everyone kind of dispersed?
There's a few people who are definitely lingering and watching, but most of the crowd has walked off.
do you
Back toward
work
the
in the
house.
mines?
No, I'm union president. Fill out paperwork, argue with the company.
Oh. Oh. Do you know, what did you, being a union means that you used to work in the mines, right? Because, union representatives usually are people who stepped up and earned these positions. Yes?
I used to work in Mine Camp 13.
Oh, what did he do there?
I was a scrubber. We kind of go behind wherever the machines are left, pick up the little rocks, the occasional fire gem.
Oh. So you work on environmental systems, right? Like that.
Sorry, say that one again.
You work so you've cleaned down environmental systems before then, I assume, among others.
No, it's not really my area. I was mostly scraping up rock leavings and dirt off the ground, and the grit and sand left behind by the machines. The environmental systems were maintenance.
Oh,
Do
I
you know
see.
who were the maintenance for this mine shaft? Were they Zagdorn or Mirkin?
Most of the maintenance done by the Zactor, especially on the machines. Like it was just simple scrubbing out of the filters. There's a few mirror I could do that.
Oh, and are any of them all of them are sick? The ones
I'm
who
not quite
scrubbed the.
sure. I'd have to check the records on who was on duty.
Can you check to see if they're all, who was working in those systems? It's important.
Like what, 7 days ago, right, Doctor?
Yeah,
Um,
it's either going to be. I'm either expecting one of two results.
He pulls out a pad and takes his like long sort of clawed finger and begins tapping away. Says, all of them are sick except sorry, I have the names here. Except Axan and Lakina.
And who are they?
They're Mirak maintenance. They probably would have scrubbed some filters.
And where have they been when all this has been going on?
Well, we've been striking against working in the mines since the plague started. So I imagine they've either been home or out of the picket lines at corporate headquarters.
But you don't know where they're at.
No, I don't keep track of them when they're not at work.
I think we
where
need
do
to
they
talk.
live?
Says they're on the fifth row back, third column, in that Quonset hut. I think Lakina's got a wife and a litter. I think Axan lives with his brother and their family.
We need to speak with.
Are you accusing
You
one of
may
us
want.
of
Or
releasing
you
this
may want to
plague?
be. I will say that what we're finding is sometimes people are forced to do things they wouldn't normally do by somebody.
Says, well, listen, if you're going to talk to him, I'm going to be there.
Yeah, we want you to take us to them or bring them to us.
No, I mean
I
during
would,
questioning. I'm their union rep.
and I would completely understand that.
I know Federation law.
And we will make sure that when we're doing the interrogation, that we also have a MyCar representative from the starship. I believe the captain. She should be involved in this too. As the highest ranking member of your species, she should have a hands on as well with this discussion. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I don't know if she'll risk coming down with all this disease around, but it would make me a whole lot more comfortable if she was there during any questioning.
We'll see with our captain. Do you think that's a good idea, Lieutenant Commander?
Yeah,
She's smiling. Excellent. Do you want me to contact the captain, or should you?
your idea, your privilege, Doctor.
All right. One moment. Dr. Kitten to Dr. To Captain Salak.
Yes, go ahead.
Cap Captain, do you have a moment where I can talk to you, please?
Are you back on the ship yet? Or do I need to make myself? available again?
I'm not on the ship yet, sir. We have a lead of who may have who may have planted this, and if they did, they might already have an antidote.
Go on.
Also, I would
Yeah,
say at this point that Salash is probably back on the Galatea.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably a fair assumption. I would have stayed as
Mhm.
probably about as much as is polite to stay, but I would have obviously gone back to the Galatea at some point.
Mhm.
Captain, with the help of the reunion rep here, Rika, we've discovered that the Mycar that were involved in the cleaning the systems that would have been um, that where the gel cap pack would have been put. Two of them are not sick. Now we have four suspects at this point who may have planted it. Either one of the two that are sick in sick bay, or the one of the two that are not showing symptoms. What we'd like to do with their representative is go speak with them. But I recall that I also believe their captain may want to be involved in this as well, sir. After all, they're known to be natural empaths, and that might be helpful in weeding out what is going on.
Well, I see no issue with any of this. Of course, I'll have to run it by Jorana. Um, Anything else that I should know about?
Well, there's somebody who's blackmailing people, and someone like a maintenance worker could ver somebody wants the Mycar to be sick. It's either a Zakdorn, someone at one of the Mycars, or someone we don't know yet. Whatever it is, somebody is blackmailing. So the Mycar involved may not be may be being blackmailed themselves.
Small out of character question. Is
Mhm.
it Mirak? Is it my car? We've kind of gone back and forth, and I'm just.
Mirak.
All right, it is.
Mirak, sorry,
Okay.
No, that's okay.
sorry,
Just wanted to make sure I
my
wasn't
car.
going insane.
No, my car. Sorry, my car's name is species from Star Wars. Sorry, Mirak. Um, Mirak. That's just my thoughts, sir. This is starting to become a very big issue, and we're also starting to see that the hostilities here are getting worse. If we don't find a way out to calm this down quickly, even if I find a cure, it's going to take a couple of days. That's not going to
Well,
be enough before this whole area goes global, if you mind.
well, let's get the wheels turning then.
I think a diplomatic solution is going to be best, sir.
I fully agree. As I said, I
And
will.
I will then.
Go ahead.
I need to get I need to get to the ship soon, but hopefully we can find a cure first, and that way I don't have to spend a couple of days trying to save people. A couple more hours, I think, isn't going to go one way or the other. Too badly. I'm hoping.
Well, we shall see what happens. And then, yeah, at this point, I think it comes down to that lovely extended task that you mentioned.
Mhm. I will say that immediately after this conversation, you're being hailed from the surface. That it is Administrator Alond.
Okay. Does he want to take it in? Does he want me to take it in private, or is he just kind of like, "Hey, we want to talk"?
Just hailing. There's no special instructions.
All right, I'll take it take it on the bridge's main screen.
Miss Galatea, I expected you to be able to handle this by now. We've got an outbreak in Mining City 2 and 3.
Well, Administrator, and I stand and do the Picard maneuver because, of course. And
And
once
you
I'm
can-
done tugging my shirt down, I say, I believe it relevant that I actually have a private conversation with you about that. Are you available to beam up to the Galatea?
No, I am not. I am a busy man.
busy enough that you can't spare 10 minutes in private when it's your workers' lives that are at stake?
There's no need to sentimentalize these people. They're subject to disease just like the rest of us. They would have work to do if they were not in the hospital. And would be just as busy as I am.
One moment, and I give the universal like cut the comms so he can't hear.
You notice
And,
that he's a fairly old Zach Dorn with the sort of bags on the side of their face, big and heavy, gray-haired, slumped over to where his head is almost touching his chest, but talking incredibly fast and high.
Yeah, I picture him as kind of that stereotypical Zach Dorn bureaucrat kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, once the he can't hear me anymore. Once our audio is cut off, once he has basically been deafened, I just kind of asked the bridge, would anyone object if I brought the good administrator up for a quick chat?
There's quite a few little laughs like that, but no one objects.
Excellent. Well then, I'll just make this a general order in case future inquiries in this incident might implicate someone. But if the administrator suddenly found himself in my ready room, say 30 seconds from now, that would be great. And then I motion for the audio to turn back on, and I turn and say to the administrator, I say, well, guess we'll just have to get on your busy schedule. And I give that oh shucks kind of motion of the arm. And basically I talk for however long it takes for the bridge crew to beam to my ready room.
As I thought these Starfleet people were supposed to be economical and on time. I can't believe it's like the rays come down and the matter stream materializes around him. It disappears from the screen.
Excellent. Let's be diplomatic. Yeah, I'm using cowboy diplomacy in one of my values.
Okay.
There's a reason I'm going off book here, and I just kind of look around the bridge and say, well, whoever did that, good job. I think you know where I'll be. And I step into my ready room to find what I'm assuming is going to be a very angry Zach Dorn.
Yeah, he has his short, stubby-fingered hands balled up into fists and saying, "How dare you, sir?"
Well, have a seat. Or don't. I don't really care what you do, but I'm going to sit down. And I sit down, and I do the kind of power move where you put your elbows on the table and you put one fist into the palm of the other and lean on it. And I say, I'm going to be very blunt and direct with you, since we are busy people. There was a biogenic weapon or some form of bioengineered disease that was deployed on your little mining colony. And I don't think I need to tell you how big of a deal that is.
And he kind of slows his pacing, relaxes his fists a little bit, and kind of puts his head in his hand and goes, "Going to be so much paperwork."
Trust me, not looking
crawling
forward
up my
to the
behind for
mounds
years.
I have to fill out.
Inspectors are going to be crawling up my behind for years. I trust you found the perpetrator?
We are working on a few leads, yes. We are still working with the Mirac to get their side of the story, but we have in our custody one of your Zach Dorn workers. He's made, and of course you can feel free to say this otherwise, but I would assume we would have gotten a full confession out of him at this point on record.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say we have gotten a confession from one Kalner that he was more or less blackmailed into tampering with your computer systems and deploying the virus, which my chief engineer was able to weed out of your system. Now, we're still trying to determine if the computer virus had any play here, whether it helped deploy the biogenic weapon or the bioengineered virus. But I thought you should know that we do, in fact, have one of your people in custody at the moment.
Because you're not buying into the delusions of that rabble-rouser, Rika, are you? Believing that this is some sort of specious bias?
I kind of lean back in the chair, and I let there be about 20 seconds of silence, and then I say, I think both sides are being played at the moment, and this third party has yet to reveal themselves. Of course, I might be wrong. It might be, as both you and Rika suggest, in that it might actually be some conspiracy to, I don't know, scare off the workers, make them live harsher conditions. I don't know, and frankly, I really don't care. But until we get more information, I'm not exactly sure I can say who is at fault here. Now, obviously, if you have any information regarding this incident that you have not given us yet, this would be the time.
Because I assure you that my administration had absolutely nothing to do with the breakout of this disease. The Federation has tasked me to meet a quota of Topoline to rebuild the fleet after Wolf 359. Now, I know it's been a few years, but there's still a high demand. New ships coming off the line every day, including that Akira of yours. And they all rely on Topoline. Every starbase, every expansion, every scientific outpost on an uninhabitable world. And I have to meet those quotas. Now, why in the world would I lay out the majority of my workforce? Yes, they're people. Yes, empathy, always with the empathy with you, Starfleet. But the bottom line is, I have quotas to meet. I would do nothing to endanger that.
That is good to hear, but perhaps there was a misunderstanding with my words. What I meant was, if you had any observations that you have not shared with either my medical personnel or, something that your administration might not have wanted my away team to find. At this point, the more information we have, the quicker and faster and really the better conclusion we can come to.
Says, I don't like the implications of that statement. We are hiding nothing. You have full access to our database.
That's all I needed to hear. Well then, you're a busy man, so I'll let you get back to it. And I tap the little screen that I assume I have in my ready room desk, and I say, you can send our lovely guest back at his convenience.
Of course, he dematerializes right in front of you.
And at this point, I just kind of check to see if Kir and the doctor are back on ship yet. I pray that they are.
Not just yet. We're still playing Scooby-Doo down here.
Do you guys want to split up and the doctor take care of this medical problem and you take care of the investigation? Or would you like to take care of this together?
Personally, Atticare, I'd prefer it if, the two of you worked on it together, but I mean, my concern is I don't want to quote unquote cross the streams. We're obviously a captain's mindset, but I also have the supporting crew. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I'd get them mixed up a little bit. Personally, what I want to do is I want to sit down everyone involved, Rhonda, Rika, the administrator, all of them at the table once the doctors found a cure, and say, okay, here's what we know, here's how to fix it, and then maybe we learn something from the meeting. Who knows?
Okay, so it comes down to Lakir and Doctor. What do you guys want to do? How do you want to proceed?
Like Kier does want to go question the two Miracs that aren't sick, who were working that day. Because that would give him reasonable belief that they're the ones that did it, and if he could question them and find out more, like who created the virus, where it came from, then then it could speed up the process of finding a cure.
And just preemptively putting the names there in roll 20.
Axon and Lakina.
Okay, who would you like to talk to first?
He said Axon was the one that had the family, right?
Yeah.
Lakina had the family. Axon lives with their brother.
His brother. Okay. I want to go talk to Lakina. If the doctor's okay with it, it would just be me and this Mirac, and then the doctor could go ahead and go start working back on the ship. Or the doctor could come along, whichever one they prefer.
Well, how would you know if you're given the right medicine or not?
What do you mean?
Well, let's say that they do have a cure. Do you have a way of checking to see if that actually is it or not a placebo or something that's fake?
I mean, I could probably just beam it up to you, and you could verify yes or no.
All right. We could do it that way.
Why not take Grawl, and Kitten can basically Jaeger pilot Grawl for the conversation.
Yep,
Yeah.
that sounds like a good idea. But yet, just need me son to scrub the ship first before I can get beamed up. The captain won't let me up any other way.
Well, that I imagine probably takes like minutes if that beam up, configure the biofilters, beam back down. He just has to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to make a science engineering roll or a reason engineering roll with a difficulty of 0. Good. So you gain 2 momentum from that. And yeah, it doesn't take much effort at all to configure to screen out anything. Like you add the list of biogenic weapons that are known and maybe like a little light radiation spray to kill off any germs, you know. But it should now be safe to beam back up to the ship, or at least as far as you can tell.
All right. I would still set up the medbay isolations. Yeah, the containment fields. I would still probably put a little bit extra power towards them, just so they don't fail, in case something else starts going wrong with the ship.
Okay.
So if you want to begin work researching this this biogenic weapon, we can start with a roll or 2 on this extended task.
All right.
And it is a difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3. Okay. And do I have any medical assistance at all, since Grawl is going to be with do I have any other nurses or any other staff?
Well, at the very least, you've got the Galatea to help you now.
Yep.
I just need to know if it's like computers plus medicine or computers plus science.
I'd say computers medicine. You're using the medical database and like scanning against known agents and so forth. Like it's mostly a lot of tests to rule things out in the beginning.
All
All
right.
right. Well, the ship is ready to roll. Just waiting to see if Kitten buys any momentum, etc.
I want to take I want to take a momentum,
Mhm.
and also want to take a momentum with threat. I'm hedging my bets,
Okay.
and I don't think any of my talents come into effect here. So let's see. Study unfamiliar. When attempting a task that will involve an unfamiliar medical procedure, which is to treat an unfamiliar or which is to treat an unfamiliar species, ignore any difficulty increase stemming from your unfamiliarity. Would that come into a play here?
Um, not necessarily. Like I had not thought to up the difficulty for that because they are so similar to Zinti and Zinti and Cation.
All right, so it's difficulty 3,
Mhm.
right?
At
All right.
least for the first couple of rolls.
All right.
It goes down if you get a breakthrough.
Come. I had a feeling when you were asking about extended tasks.
So that's one momentum back.
Mhm. Oh sure, yeah, I definitely was asking around because I was like, "Is this too hard? Is this too easy?" Yeah.
It's tricky.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So now you roll some challenge dice, and you'll roll 2 plus just 2 plus 1 for this, right?
Well, 2 plus the department, so, or not the department, the discipline.
Oh, the
So
discipline,
medicine.
yes. Okay, so
So
roll
the
7.
total would be 7.
Mm-hmm. You can just type that in on challenge dice on the die roller.
Okay, one moment. I want to check on something.
Mm-hmm.
Zima. Oh, okay. No, I was just checking to see what my special ability about being doctor is.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to get everything I can. So you said 7 challenge dice?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There it is. And roll well.
Is it?
Well, that's odd.
I guess try again.
I
Oh,
click
game's
on
broke. We automatically succeed.
Yes!
Like that worked when I rolled 4.
Wait,
So
what?
either he rolled 7 and failed every single one, or it didn't roll properly.
I'm gonna say reroll because
And
I
all I
don't
do,
trust
and I'm
that.
supposed to just click on the I type in 7 and I click on the and
Might
I
want
click
to
on the
type
Starblade
in
badge
7
right
and
next
hit.
to it.
Yeah, you might want to type in 7, then hit enter, and then click the badge because I noticed sometimes on that sheet it doesn't register a number until you hit enter.
But it did register it
Oh
though.
yeah, you're right. It does say rolling 7. Yeah, I think that's an error though. So just go ahead and hit it again and
I've
hope that.
heard that
Yeah, there we
there's
go.
problems with
Oh,
challenge
there we
dice.
go.
Yeah, see, there we go.
So yeah, I think what happened then is the first one was literally all zeros.
Really?
That's
I.
wow.
Well, we don't know that
I'm-
for sure. So.
Yeah, I'm taking the second. I just don't trust that first result. I mean, maybe that's
Alright.
what it was, but we'll go with this for now.
So that's what, 6? I can do math. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
6. And you said
Mhm.
there was resistance 1, I think. Yeah.
No resistance on this one, actually.
All right. Well, then, yeah, that's a breakthrough right off the bat.
I removed the resistance because successfully identified biogenic weapon. So,
Very good.
so that is a breakthrough.
Yay!
And does the excess past 5 count toward work on the next breakthrough?
No. So we have 6 work on the track of 10, and then, all right, I'm gonna have to deal with my dog here in a second. But
Sure.
yes, I'm aware. Let me finish. The next roll will be a difficulty 2 because we got a breakthrough. And then if he rolls 4 successes on the challenge die, we get a breakthrough for completing the work track. and if he rolls a breakthrough just because the magic 5, I think you said it was magnitude 3, yeah?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Then the extended task will be done with another roll, possibly.
Okay, so that still counts as work. In other
Yeah.
words. Okay, even though it did a breakthrough. Okay.
Yeah, correct. All right,
Good, good,
BRB.
good. Uh-huh. So I'm going to divide this up like between breakthroughs, right? So after this first breakthrough, which takes the better part of 12 hours before you can finally identify the type of biogenic weapon. It looks like it is keyed to the Mirac genetic code, specifically Mirac bone marrow. It looks like it is entering the bone marrow and reprogramming it to produce white cells that attack organ tissue. So the white cells are actually attacking the body as if it were a foreign virus. So you've successfully identified what it is and what it's doing. And so like the next two breakthroughs will be about how to neutralize it without killing the patient. While you're doing that, you go to Lakir goes to question Lakina.
An artificial version of feline leukemia.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the cat version of that. I know it's some like a.
Leukemia
I've watched a lot of
is-
House.
Cat leukemia is leukemia with cats. It's like highly contagious.
Huh.
If a cat gets cancer, it will spread like wildfire between other cats. That's why they always quarantine or put them down immediately, because it'll kill a whole populace of cats. I had a friend of mine whose cat ended up with leukemia, and that's how I found out about it. So they had to test all the cats in the area. But
And so while you're discovering the root cause here, Lakir goes to question Lakina. And Lakir, you arrive at their Quonset hut and signal the door chime. This Mirac comes to the door. This big hulking cat hyena looking person goes, "Yeah."
Right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back. And Lakina goes, "Yeah,
Lakina?
that's right."
I'm sure you're already aware that this is Rika. I'm Lieutenant Commander Lakir of the Federation Starship Galatea. I am here investigating the sickness.
When you say of the Galatea, he like laughs a little and says, I thought Riga had hired you to come and break my kneecaps for not paying the union dues." Noskin shows up at your door. Usually prepare for the worst." He turns around and goes, "It's okay, honey, you can put down the phaser." He says, Come in.
oh,
I kind of exchange looks with Rika. Like, I'll remember this little interaction and I'll walk in after Lakina.
So far, Jorana has declined to come down. She's not quite been convinced that it's safe yet. So it's just you and Rika. Or Rika. And he says, "Now, what exactly are you wanting to know?"
6 days ago, whenever you were on your maintenance shift and working on the environmental system in Tunnel 7, was there anyone else there working on it? Or was it tampered with at all?
Because no, I wasn't in Tunnel 7. I was Tunnel 6 on the 4th level. I think you're looking for Axon. He usually covers Tunnel 7 and does 1, 2, and 3. I do 4, 5, and 6. I didn't notice anything different. I mean, just scrubbing out all the dust. They don't like to change filters too often.
Do you know if Axon has had any financial or legal troubles recently? Something that maybe got cleared up all of a sudden?
Not that I know of, but he's always complaining about being in debt and his family being in debt. So who knows? I don't keep track with his financials. We don't know each other that well. He kind of keeps to himself.
Um, I guess I want to do an insight check to see,
Mm-hmm.
like, is he, like, I'm asking about what he does. Does he seem kind of like, why is he asking me questions about this? Or, like, is there, like, he's trying to, hey, you should go talk to this guy while it gives me time to get the hell out of Dodge,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
What do you think about inside security? Since you are
Yeah.
kind of determining if he's a threat or trying to elude capture, or elude being unmasked or being what have you, words.
Interspecies diplomacy?
Yeah. Since you're looking for tells with the different species, so I'd say that applies.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty on this is going to be 1.
Okay. Oh.
A lot of 20s tonight.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, just double checking that was a 20 and not something else. Yeah, so you do gain 1 momentum from that, and you can tell that he's genuinely confused because
I had a
you
net-
notice he has this look on his face like he can't quite figure out what's going on. And he keeps looking at Rika like, huh?
Just seeing how he's acting like that, I'll just sorry for disturbing you. We're just gonna go ahead and head out. If you think of anything else, just get in touch with one of the Federation. Just how would someone get in touch with us as
They
like
could
a civilian?
hail the ship, or they probably have like public terminals hooked up to that big satellite, so they could call the starbase or call any ship in orbit.
Yeah, that's why the subspace comedy, like getting backup, was a big deal.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you guys are like 3. I keep saying you guys. Y'all are like 3 days at maximum warp away from a starbase, so it's like they theoretically could have near real time subspace communication with them.
Okay. Because I didn't know if I left and then all of a sudden he remembered, like, oh, this happened. Like, would he have to contact one of the political people, like one of the ambassadors or whatever, and then okay. So yeah, I'll just be like, here's like, just contact me directly if you think anything else. Thank you for your time, and I'm gonna head out.
And he says, I mean, I'm lucky that I'm like half Cation, I guess. I mean, maybe that's why I haven't been sick. You guys figure out what it is?
We have reason to believe what it is. We're just double checking on other things that have caught our attention. We're making a full report.
I hope you fix it soon. I got a lot of friends in that hospital.
Yeah.
Or Tent City or whatever it is.
You said that you were half Cation, and that's why you don't think you're sick?
I guess. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
We had reports that there was a Cation on the planet that was believed to have passed away from the disease.
Huh. Well, I don't know. Just lucky, I guess. Maybe I should take up Dabo.
I don't know if it's luck you have with the Ferengi. I think they decide when you're lucky or not.
Because I gotcha.
All right. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
And then I'll head to Axon's.
So when you arrive at his Quonset hut, you can hear arguing coming from inside. Sounds like a male and female. There's some yelling.
Can I make out what they're yelling? Or can I get like a general idea of what's the argument is about?
I keep wanting to say inside security. I think that's probably a good one to overhear.
There goes my keen hearing roll. What does my keen hearing roll say? What it is?
Oh yeah, there's probably something like that in there.
Remember the description.
But yeah, let's go with that inside security for now, and then we'll fix
What's
it
the
later.
difficulty?
The difficulty on this is going to be 0. It just takes a little bit of effort to lean in and hear. Nice. Gain 2 momentum, and they are saying, "Well, where did he go? I don't know. Do you even know what this symbol means? 'Cause I don't know. I've never seen it before. And all this money. Where did he get this much latinum?" And it kind of just goes around circles, and has he been gambling?
Knock on the door.
The yelling suddenly stops. And then the door creaks open a little bit. What do you want?
My name is Lieutenant Commander Lykier of the Federation ship Galatea. I have a few questions for Axon.
He says, he's not here. And he begins to close the door, but you hear the female voice saying, Show them the thing.
The money that you were just yelling about? And I purposely shoved my hand up and I'm holding the door open. And I've put my body into holding this door. I don't know how big I am compared to them, but I'm talking to you right now. You are not going to shut this door.
Mm-hmm. I'd say they're a little bulkier, but about the same height, and probably about the same strength. They just are proportioned differently.
Okay.
They got that more bent, animalistic, big, wide shoulder kind of thing going on. Where you're the mortal, big Frankenstein, leering type, So yeah, you're definitely a match for them. So, he's trying to close the door, and she's saying, well, "Show them the thing." And he finally says, "Listen, that latinum could really help this family. I'll show you this thing, but you leave that latinum."
What latinum? I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's all right. And he finally lets go of the door and kind of walks in, rubbing his neck, and the woman runs up and hands you this piece of paper. And it's actually paper. This is something they would have had to especially replicate. It looks like it's actually part of a sketch pad. And you unfold it and you see a drawing of a bird holding something in both of its claws.
Do I make out what that something? Can I make out what that something is, or it's
There,
just something
it looks
completely
like
alien to me?
no, it looks like just something round. Like you can't quite tell what it's supposed to be. It's kind of very abstract. Like maybe that's an egg, maybe that's an orb.
I'll look up at the two of them and just ask what. So which one of you is Axon?
He's not here right now. He's my brother. He just
Uh,
he hasn't been here all day.
do you know where he might have gone off to?
I don't know. He's never disappeared like this before. I mean, he doesn't drink. He doesn't gamble. At least I don't think so. Not that we knew. He just keeps himself and, makes sketches. Occasionally
This
takes hikes into the mountain.
this bird, can it be found in your mountains?
No, there's not really much complex life on this planet. It's like algae and insects. I don't think there are any birds here.
What kind of bird is it? Like, is it something that I would recognize, or do I need to contact one of the ship scientists?
You could swear you've seen this somewhere before. It's very like an earth hawk, an earth eagle. I don't know what the Noscan equivalent thereof would be. But it looks like it's from the perspective of this thing with its wings spread out, swooping down and clutching these two things. And you could have swear you've seen this symbol somewhere before. I think I heard someone snort when I first said it, so they got it.
Memory check.
They are an enemy combatant.
Yeah, I'd
This
say I'll give you a difficulty 0. Reason security.
Wait, this
Remember.
isn't. It isn't. It isn't the Romulan symbol, is it?
Oh yes.
Oh, son of a bitch! All right.
It
I
slowly
didn't want
comes
to say
you.
anything. I wanted you to
I know,
figure it out
like-
on your own.
Like I'm sitting here and I'm like bird, hawk, swooping down. I could think Romulan, but there's no no. There's. All right. Oh
Yeah,
god.
the great Romulan eagle holding Romulus and Remus in each of its claws.
Like Kier starts rubbing his head and he just kind of hits his comm badge. Like here to Captain Salak.
Slotch here. What can I do for you?
I got good news and bad news.
How about you skip to the bad news?
Romulans.
I fucking knew it, and I slammed the chair, the armrest of the chair on the bridge, and I'm sure everybody turns on the bridge and is like, "What the hell?" And I say, "All right, so that confirms a lot of things. Do you have the perpetrator in custody yet?"
Negative. His he disappeared from his family. The only thing he left was a piece of paper that has, and I'm talking like actual like pressed paper, and like I kind of like shake it or like crumple a little bit to have that paper sound.
I believe you. Actual paper.
And it's the warbird holding Romulus and Remus. I guess to lighten the mood, the good news is that someone can go ahead and tell the doctor that it's Romulan based, and so that should speed up the process. But yeah, Romulans.
Well, like here, I'll let you make the judgment call since you're on the surface, but I don't want to spend the next 6 weeks out here trying to capture one man. or woman. I don't know. Basically, if it starts to look like you're kind of chasing a wild goose, I believe is the expression, I want you to come back up to the ship because we got a rather important meeting that has to take place.
Yeah. If you don't mind, just have someone do a quick sensor scan of the nearby mountain range. There's reason to believe that the guy I'm looking for is over there, or between here and there, probably. If you pick him up, just drop me off there. If y'all can't pick him up in, I'd say, the next 5 minutes, go ahead and bring me and the rest of the away team up, and we will figure the rest out.
All right. Yeah, I have whoever is at ops, or if we have someone actually at the science station, I have them go ahead and do such a sensor scan.
Yeah, Lieutenant Commander Singh is on science, so he will make a. Actually, I'm gonna make a regular roll here, and then helped by the ship.
The ship does
Oh,
assist.
you got it. Okay. All right, so that's a difficulty 1. So go ahead and add a momentum, and you detect there is some sort of life sign in the mountains, but you can't quite lock onto it. You notice it for 30 seconds, and then it's gone. And then a few minutes later, it's back again. This time for only 10 seconds, then it's gone. And this is a large life sign. As far as you know, there are no large mammals on this planet. And this is about human size.
Is this, say, in the surface of the planet? Like they're in a mountain range, so maybe a cave?
It definitely looks like it's underground. Yeah. The sensors can't penetrate too deep underground because once it hits the topoline, you can't see past it.
Right, which is what I'm thinking is he's just moving about these tunnels and, basically obscured by the topoline. Okay, I will relay that information, or have Singh relay that information to, like, here. Oh, and I also tell the doctor that, yeah, it's Romulan based, before I forget.
Ooh, that's helpful. Thank you, Captain.
I will take one
You
comedy
can
moment
think, like,
to
here,
say.
he did the legwork here.
I want to take one comedy moment to say I wanted to have you open that up and go, "It's a fake." But I think we'll do two quick things before we wrap up. One, the next step of researching a cure for this. If you want to go ahead and make another reason medicine roll, this time at difficulty 2, to see if you can figure out a way to reverse this damage, or at least stop it in its tracks.
Okie dokie. So, what do I roll?
Reason medicine.
Reason medicine. Okay.
Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. I'm going to, because this is an extended task, I like to take a point of momentum.
Well, I mean, we're about to lose all the momentum because end of session, so...
Oh, so then I will...
Does it not continue?
Nope. Momentum resets every session, just like determination.
Okay. And threat, I assume?
So in that case, I'm going to spend 2.
And I'm going to spend...
I'll spend total of 3. So
hold on, before you do that, I'm going to spend 2 threat to increase the range of, whatever it's called.
Complication.
My brain. This is why I usually don't run 4-hour sessions, because after 3.5 hours, my brain shuts down. Okay.
And I don't...
I'm assuming the ship is assisting once more?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, die roller.
got what we needed, I think.
And a momentum back. Because it was difficulty 2 this time. So, yeah, after you get the momentum back, then you roll your 7.
7 challenge die, yeah.
Sorry, I just noticed. Oh, it was the ship. I was like, why is medicine 3? It's the ship. Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and roll your 7 challenge die.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Second breakthrough. And is that also a 3rd?
Yeah, it's a 3rd because he also completed the work track.
Alrighty. So yeah, with that you have found a chemical agent that will basically destroy the damaged, like it'll target and destroy the damaged part of the marrow, and allow the healthy marrow to reassert itself.
Excellent.
All right, so
It's
you have
perfect.
Yeah. Now it's just a matter of synthesizing enough to distribute out.
Captain, this is Dr. Kitten. I believe I have isolated a cure for our sick brethren down below. I'm going to have to start synthesizing the cure right away. Permission to test on a subject?
Well, I'm going to trust that you've done your homework here, Doctor, so of course you have my permission.
All right. I would like to beam up one of the people who's sick and have them here. That way I have my med bay, Captain. If that is all right.
Of course, go right ahead.
I'm going to contact the surface. Who is the person in charge down there?
Dr. Melnor?
Dr. Melnor, this is Dr. Kitten. I believe that I may have a potential agent that might be able to cure our friends. Is there anyone who'd be willing to be beamed up on board so that I may test the inoculation?
I think we have a couple people who are deep into this, whatever it is, and still able to communicate. It was just on time, too. We lost 6 in the last 24 hours.
When I get my hands on a person responsible for this, I'm just going to feed him to the captain. All right.
And they beam up a volunteer.
I basically, okay, I'm going to check see if it works. Praying to the Cation gods.
Takes about maybe an hour before you start to see, before it finally works its way absorbed into the marrow, and you notice that it's using the genetic tagging, finding the bad marrow, and eating away at it, and seems to leave the good marrow. So it looks like this is indeed a cure. It'll take time. It'll take probably 3 days for it to eat away all the bad marrow, and then the good marrow has to reassert itself, and in that time they're somewhat compromised. So, you're talking about like 2 weeks in the hospital. But that's a whole lot better than dead in a day.
So they're going to have to be isolated until they get back, like cancer patients.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I relayed the information down there, and we got the results. I'm good.
And Captain, I believe you had a meeting, and I think that may be the last thing we do tonight.
Yeah, I basically wanted to get the administrator, Jorana, Rika, and probably Kitten and like here in the same room. And then I wanted to basically have everyone go over what happened. Here's where we are. Then I'll drop the bomb, kind of a thing.
I'm gonna take us on
What
over
do
to
you
the
mean
conference
there's
room.
no Rock Gino?
Yeah. Imagine us all sitting around this conference room table. By the way, your tokens are in the bottom right if you wanted to mess with them, but we're all sitting around. The administrator volunteers to come up this time.
Good, he's learning.
One does not cross the captain.
And an ensign asks him if he wants anything to drink, and he gives this exacting specification of tea. Make sure it has exactly this percent sugar. Tell it to use earth cane sugar.
That is rather specific, even for a Zakdorn.
Yeah, it's like earth cane sugar, Vulcan mint. Gerana sort of watches him, just like shaking her head. And she kind of turns to the captain and says, "The inside of a Zakdorn mind. Not the prettiest thing."
I'll have to take your word on that. It's not something I would hazard into myself.
So we're in the We're in the meeting room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't really have tokens for them, but the administrator and Gerzana are both there.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see the captain.
Oh, they don't have
so
tokens.
I don't have
Neither
tokens
do
for them, unfortunately, or not handy.
So yeah, I look between like here and Kitten, and really whoever wants to give the first blurb, like 30-second blurb about what you found, can go first.
Ooh, what shall we start with?
There we go.
You're hey, grumpy, angry, yep, a cat. Perfect for the Zakdorn.
It's for the cat lady.
I know. Well,
here you go. This is for the Zakdorn.
What do we have for the Zakdorn? Yeah,
It's a hairless cat. Nice.
sure. It's a rat cat. It's a Kazinti. Anyway, well, we were asked to come here.
Doctor, I know it's been trying, but please keep your composure.
Sorry, Captain. Someone moved the Roctigino from the replicators, and that's like a doctor's favorite drink when you've been working as late as I am. All right.
We'll have a sidebar after this meeting, but you were saying.
Anyway, we have a well, we basically found a biogel pack down over in the environmental systems, and I assume, just to say to the cat, just to say on the side, because the administrator mentioned they were in other locations. Did we have security teams come down and check to see what to look for?
I would assume
yes.
so.
There's a. Because I imagine that you searched most of the units, right? Or at least did a cursory search. So you found them on at least one tunnel in every other level. So you got a good spread, basically.
Well, we've had plenty of this biogenic weapon that is of Romulan origin in your environmental systems. They seem to have been placed by people who were hired by the Romulans. We're thinking probably to basically stop production here on what is the name of the planet?
This is Spica 9.
Spica 9. Since this is where we're getting material for all the ships, this is in Romulan's best interest. And our lovely engineer can tell you everything else he discovered.
He said BRB, by the way. James BRB.
What?
That's what I said.
Oh, BRB.
Yeah.
Well, he we basically had this was a virus that was really nasty. This is basically an artificial version of feline leukemia. means it attacked the bone marrow of the of felinoids and basically rips them apart. It was a good thing that they were actually quarantined as quickly as they are, because it would have started spreading towards the families, as it does with most felines in this type of situation. This could have been a complete disaster for any felinoid race, but this was definitely designed to uh, hurt the workers extensively, and of course create civil unrest between the union and the corporation. It's a pretty nasty thing. We were able to come up with an antivirus, but it's going to take them several weeks before they'll be able to be back up on their feet, and the victims will be until then, because their immune systems will be affected when they are going the cure. The the one that is on board here um will be being down as soon as they basically have a quarantine set up. Any
And
questions?
Tirana says, I will make it known to my people that the Romulans are not to be dealt with.
I do take the opportunity though to look between Rika and the administrator, and I say, obviously the administrator has quotas that Starfleet puts down, but I think given the circumstances, and I put as much weight as I can into these words, even though if it might not be coming across on voice.
Mhm.
It might be good to relax some work schedules and maybe giving in to some of the demands, maybe.
And the sector administrator says, perhaps you should take that up with Starfleet Command.
Perhaps you misunderstood. I'm basically suggesting that maybe if you treat your workforce with just a little bit more compassion, you might actually see an increase in productivity.
Says, I've been about this business for 50 years. I don't need to be lectured by a Starfleet captain.
Oh, I'm so tempted to just like hit the comment and say, administrator's going back to his office now, but
Yeah.
I won't do it. And I just kind of shrug and say, it's your prerogative, but, I just think you get, better results that way. But hey, if you think 50 years of experience. Anyway, but hopefully, and I turn to Durana, hopefully this, and I guess Durana and Rika, I say, hopefully this has resolved to your satisfaction.
Do we still have. This is Riga. Says, we still have issues with the administrator, but we can handle them now on the negotiation table and not in the streets.
Maybe we can recommend. Maybe we can, Captain. Can we recommend a Federation arbiter to help deal with these negotiations, a neutral party?
It's part of my report, yes.
Would that be satisfactory to both parties?
And they both kind of look at each other and warily nod.
Good, 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 good. Well, I don't know, is James back yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Like if you wanted to give like a 30-second blurb on the culprit, that's all that's missing from the conversation.
All right. So the Romulans blackmailed a Zakdorn and a Mirkin worker. Axon is currently missing. However, he was the person, I believe, put the bioweapon into the environmental systems, whereas the Zakdorn we currently have arrested and taking his statement, he was hired and was told to implement a virus that would knock out the subspace communications and also didn't allow for several systems to work. One of those being the environmental systems in the mines.
And one quick blurb before we go. You're interrupted by communication coming in from the surface. It is Jazan saying, Starfleet ship, I think we have a problem. He's got a bomb. Credits. And that'll end tonight's session.
Transporter chief, lock onto the guy with the bomb and beam him into space.
Yeah, that's the 5-second beginning of the episode.
That was an explosive ending. My joke.
dear.
All right.
My joke bombed, didn't it?
Please no.
Wah, wah.
Well, thanks, Friar. I appreciate it.
I
Had a
think
good time.
Yeah, I think it went better this time around. I was much less nervous. Flowed better. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A little railroady, but just getting used to the flow of this kind of game.
Yeah, I had no complaints.
I had fun.
All right, I hope to see you all next week, and we might have 2 new players next week. I'm still waiting on final confirmation.
Yeah, Miranda has